Old 11 does have a lasso available. You want to be a little bit careful. Weaver has died a couple times over committing.
Now, to go back to the talk about Troll's itemization, you have Templar Assassin, who's going for a Deso, so you're definitely not going to lack damage, and it's going to be much easier for you to be able to, like, dispel things. Even though there aren't too many good spells to dispel. What are you gonna dispel? Like, you can't dispel Tag Team, you can't dispel Swarm, you can't dispel Arctic Burn, you can dispel, like, Crippling Fear. I believe that's the interaction for, like, 0.1 second and be able to use ulti if needed. And, yeah, so not much value on the dispelling things on yourself.
Do you think seeing that he might have wanted to go for the Battle Fury first?
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about the Ags, it doesn't feel like that great of an idea.
Lasso bottom on the Winter Wyvern. Zhao Fu getting low, nobody coming over to rotate. They're taking a tier 1 top while this is going on. So they'll finish off the tower. They've got the siege creep to do so.
Tower is under attack.
And there it goes.
Dire's courier has been killed. Dire's top tower has fallen.
I mean, he still has time to switch to, like, Yasha into BKB if he wants to, because, yeah, I mean, you can. What are you gonna dispel on them? Like, you can dispel what? Void Spirit's Resonant Pulse. That's it. Rest is not dispellable.
We'll see if he commits, because he's just holding on to the Blade of Alacrity and 1,300 gold at the moment. Meanwhile, TA has the Deso. Just has to get that second Mithril Hammer delivered. 12 minutes in. 3K lead for Vici. This is something we talked about, I think, more so off-screen, was just how many times do you see a comeback like the one we saw in Game 1? Hold that thought. Shackle, power shot, Irving in trouble. Winter's Curse to keep Irving alive. See if they can commit everything to get the kill, and easily do with the Walrus Punch. Snowball over to DY. Erica trying to help out. The Astral Step going in deep, looking for PYW as well as Erica. They'll go for the Troll. They're in under the tier 2 tower. PYW ends up dying to Irving, but can Ori turn this around at all? Cold Embrace, they've got the Dust, they'll get the kill on a Cat U. Aether Remnant locked in is DY, falling is DY. MS gets the kill, they go after Erica, who pops the ult, trying to survive. There's no mana left for the TA. Erica just getting kited around, and now he's under the tier 2 tower and dead. Goes really well for LBZS, and they are continuing to stay under the tier 2. They need to get these heroes out. Lose the Void Spirit. Zhao Fu trying to smoke and leave. Not sure he's going to be able to do so. Power shot lands. They've got the trap, and Zhao Fu will fall to Old 11. Now MS. Old 11, he doesn't have a blink dagger, so he can't blink on top, but
this was their timing. Like, you have a nighttime, you want to play aggressive. These heroes are very hard to catch. Like, you have Beaver, limited control on Vici Gaming, like Troll and TA. They don't provide any kind of stun or silence. Like Night Stalker plus a Void Spirit, also very elusive. On a Cat U, Snowball to survive, going towards Old 11. So that's near PYW, who times the power shot on the Snowball. Shackle hits onto the Weaver. Old 11 surrounded by 4 heroes, but they've got the TA coming over. How much do they want to commit? They've got the Winter's Curse once again. They get the kill on Old 11. They throw the silence out, but Irving is in a bit far. Traps getting popped all over the place. The Melt Strike. Nice Cold Embrace. Shackle lands though on MS, and he can't get away. They lose 3 heroes going for Old 11. Not a good trade. Holding him in game with some sick shackles. And to go back to the talk about the itemization on Troll, really glad he did not go for that. Aghanim Scepter actually went for Yasha and has a BKB queued up, because in theory, yes, most of the time that item feels really good, but after the discussion that we had, it doesn't really feel like you're gonna get much value out of it.
Thanks.
Man, TA, Ori's about to have Blink. Look at his net worth. He's so far ahead.
There's just some big numbers.
Void thrown out. How much do they want to commit? Snowball all the way to Old 11.
Here's Lester.
But Old 11 gets away for the moment. However, the Aether Remnant's there. But the False Promise comes in from DY. Another save for this Oracle as they'll turn this around onto the Void Spirit. They've got the Shackle, the Land of Fortunes, and the damage is there. Erica gets credit for it. And another gank gone wrong for LBZS, now down 6K.
Tier 1 tower. They already killed it, and they're holding their Tier 1 tower mid. Pretty healthy, so next time they get a kill or two, they can easily transition that into Roche. TA with the Deso, plus Vendranger. If she decides to put a point in a focus fire, like, should just be enough damage. Right now they're chasing it, even though it's a nighttime.
Winter's Curse, but not going to save Zhao Fu. And you able to walk away.
Seems like there's some beef between Old 11 and Winter Wyvern, where he is just using ulti every single time on him.
Yeah, and only one has led to Old 11 dying.
Under attack.
Beaver's got that Maelstrom going Lincoln's next up against this lasso of the Bat Rider. Fine DY. Crippling Fear, he is silenced, doesn't have a False Promise, but he does have a Disarm. The Void is used, but is it worth your life, Irving, to go for the Oracle? No. Doesn't look to be so. And, well, Erica now grabbing another kill as he comes around to help.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So taking the tier 2 bottom, they get themselves the outpost at 17 minutes.
Not too bad. You know, they are controlling the map with the traps, a lot of sentries, but only one observer board. Near the outpost, there's a lasso.
To MS, the damage is there, the kill comes forth, and they're gonna look for Cat U. Flame Break and the shards kind of lead to a weird bounce for the Tusk, but dead nonetheless. There's 2 heroes dead on LBZS.
Tusk try to go for a play, get the snowball, and get the Beaver end just for like half a second to be able to use the time lapse, but not a good angle.
TA queues up the shard.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
I talked how Troll and TA, like 2 cores, don't provide any kind of silence, so right now with the trap, when you buy the shard, you can do it. But it's full duration, it's 3 seconds silence. That's not a joke, Beakup.
Yeah, that's a long silence, and he's thinking about it. He's got the goal to commit. Just, you know, the timing's not right. He's a little early.
Now he has too much farm, that's the only problem.
They'll go here for the Void Spirit, Old 11, with another kill there onto the Void Spirit. This is a little bit more of what we were expecting from Vici against LBZS.
I was like, yeah, I mean, it's a nighttime, so he should be able to buy a shard, but Night Stalker messing up with the night daytimer. Let's go. Tier 1 tower, gone.
As well.
Right now, they're just snowballing, playing so aggressively, controlling the map. I feel like if they want to take a fight right now, like they should, because like Night Stalker is tanky, it's nighttime, so they should be able to take a fight. They still have, what, 1 minute and 10 seconds, plus 30 seconds from Dark Ascension, so almost 2 full minutes to do something.
Lasso on the Winter Wyvern. They want to fight without the Winter's Curse being a problem. Doesn't have buyback, or at least going to Roche without Winter's Curse being a problem.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Just a simple pick off, transition that into Roche. Wyvern is kind of the biggest threat to split up the fight. Shards.
On top, grabs the Aegis. Gonna try and chase, see what they can get. Cat U on the run. Snowball going over to Erica. MS gets hit by the power shot, so Snowball will hit the Troll as well as the Walrus Punch, but only extending the inevitable as he loses his life once again, dead for the 5th time this game. Look like they want to fight. At least feinting their positioning. They got 4 heroes here. BKB's pop by Erica goes after MS. First hit Root in some trouble, forced to use the time lapse early on in engagement. Back away from this one. So Ori, who is a little early on getting the shard,
middle tower is under attack.
has so much gold, he goes to the BKB first.
Sometimes shards can be like a debate, but I think he actually bought the shards. I think he actually did. Yeah, it's Mithril Hammer and the shard. On certain heroes, like this is my point, where yeah, it feels good, but like BKB is always going to be a BKB. Yule Scepter, Ghost Scepter, in certain situations you're going to get so much more value out of it.
Again, Meteor Hammer, the snowball, it's there for the save. But is it enough to get him out? He's going to Astral Step as well as use that Aether Remnant to lock down PYW, but Old 11 right up on him. Shackle doesn't connect anywhere.
Lasso in 3. Like, he's going in. Young 11, Blink Dagger canceled for 3 seconds.
He did go back for the shard on the TA. Finally hits that 20-minute mark, becomes available, picks it up. Thought he might finish the BKB first.
Top tower is under attack.
But I like the silence. This shard is
under attack.
really good, it seems. Especially, you know, your team doesn't really have a silence to work with. Now you've got one.
Yeah,
3 second silence.
Long duration, like long cooldown ability, lasso, and you have a shackle.
Ooh,
there's the lasso.
Play there from Old 11. Uses the flame break, bounces him closer, has the lasso. Irving dead to rights. And then back over towards mid. Snowball, Walrus Punch, going for the troll. Pops the BKB, has the ulti available. Will just run for the moment.
Next time, be quick.
Yasha, BKB, Basher going into the Abyssal Blade.
DUI, this is the second time he's using a salve that he bought with his own gold. Pay attention, this is not a shovel. And using it on troll, like you want to keep that item all the time whenever you're playing Oracle to get the maximum value out of the False Promise. Let's see if he decides to bring another one.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I heard that on one of the broadcasts once. Always be holding a salve on Oracle.
And there it is. Just buys another one. Has 1,500 gold saved up. So could
Blink
possibly be... Nah, could be a Blink. Could be a Glimmer Cape. I think you get a lot of value from Glimmer.
TA finishing that BKB, and now it's on to a Daedalus.
Straight up damage. Like, she goes in, just rips apart. Once she finishes that up, like, can easily two-shot Winter Wyvern. Wyvern also trying to get some farm, even though she is a position 5 in this game. Oh, let's see that silence.
Trap comes in, silence is on, nowhere to jump. Finally, Dissimulate, getting some distance, silences up Erica. Winter's Curse again used defensively.
Told you, there is some beef. From the pub game, Old 11 must have done something.
I'll take a look at match history after this one.
Sounds good. Let me know. Imagine you check it and there's like 0% win rate when they played together. So TA pushing the high ground with that Deso. Still 30 seconds left on Aegis.
Let's see if LBZS jump on the timing of Aegis, if they've got it timed right. Aether Remnant hits on the behind hero of PYW. They go for the Walrus Punch, but there's the False Promise. That's going to save the save the Windrunner. They go for Cat U. Again, the Cold Embrace comes in, but it's not going to keep Cat U alive. Dominating for Erica. Ori getting low. They find Irving. Fortune's End with the Shackle. They'll take out a second. They both buy back. They go after Erica and finish him. Now, their eyes are on the TA. Flame Break hits
5
both
seconds.
the Tusk as well as the Weaver, but is it going to be enough? Finally take out the Aegis, but it was about to expire. Might have been better worth waiting as they go towards the backlines, look for DY. He doesn't have False Promise anyway, but he ends up dying. Meteor Hammer coming through. No, he's going to blink away and try to escape as Old 11 takes out Jiaofu. Now with the TP, does he get out? The Aether Remnant's there, stops the TP away, and takes out PYW.
Let's see. Silence on Weaver. Now, Lincoln Sphere's not going to save you from that.
He's got the damage!
Oh, man, what a play from Ori.
Ori just playing with his food, and now down to 11. I'll drop to the Void Spirit. Ori thinking about it.
They also lost the gem. Like, Batrider was holding a gem there, but yeah, sick play from Ori there. They extended a bit. You know, they were waiting for that Roshan timer. Did not want to hit the Templar Assassin, allow her to regen up. She also used the BKB while holding the Aegis, something that we usually don't see. And the reason why they fell back and tried to defend her.
The silence is deadly from these traps. Down 16,000 net worth. You've got.
Yeah, we've seen bigger comebacks.
Yeah, already today. That being said, Vici have taken the mid-tier 3. That was something that LBZS in the last game had failed to do. Trying to take the outpost. Cat, you now on the run from the troll. Shackle comes in. It's PYW, so it's landing every time.
You hit hard.
Taking the Tusk, get themselves another one.
Still a long way until he gets that Blink Dagger. Viper getting some farm. Shackle does not connect, but yeah, Viper can scale, even as position 5, where you get like 50 damage talent, possibly get that Orchid, works really well with your Renter's Curse,
Lasso,
but you know, that's not gonna save you if you're positioned badly.
Cold Embrace, trying to stay alive, but the power shot is in from PYW to swipe that one. This is a pickoff that
PYW,
right by the base.
That stands for Power Shot U Wyvern, I believe.
So more than one beef is what you're saying. Yeah, because PYW has named himself specifically against this Winter Wyvern.
Seems like an easy Raxus. LBZS does not want to contest this, they just get the melee ones and get the hell out. Roche, let's see the respawn timer, might respawn in 5 seconds.
Vanished, but not gone.
Minute 44. So DY did end up picking up that Blink. I don't have vision of the Void Spirit right under the nose of DY. Doesn't want to give up that he's right here with this gem. Xiaofu coming over, as is Tusk. But there's nobody to go on at this point. You've got Erica now with the Abyssal finished off. The farm is out of control for the side of Vici. I will say, though, MS, he's not too far behind.
Yeah, MS is doing okay.
Radiant are scanning.
It's still not enough damage until he gets that MKB. Yeah, like Lincoln's is a very costly item. Kind of must have here against the Shackle and the Lasso. Smoke holding the high ground.
Right nearby, Lincoln's pop, Shackle hits, they've got the Lasso, they get the kill on MS. The rest of the team was on the high ground on the opposite side of the mid lane, and not there to help. Vici knocking on the door bottom.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Primed and ready to go. No trouble going to the high ground. 50 seconds without the Weaver.
No buyback invested in MKB recipe. So this feels like it's gonna be, I'm not gonna say a free set of Raxus, but still, okay, they decide not to go for it. Yeah, because the big man has respawned and they have vision of it. Oracle was keeping Courier inside the pit, so they're like, yeah, we're just gonna play it safe, go into Roche pit, get the cheese and Aegis, and then pressure the high ground once again.
So Erica starts it off. They've got the Meteor Hammer coming in from PYW. Ori hits away. Everybody here for Vici ready to go on this Roche. They're coming over on LBZS. It's just not quick enough. They're without the Weaver too, so taking this fight 4v5, ill-advised, if anything.
Troll holding on to cheese. TA with the Aegis. Like, yeah, you want your troll to hold the cheese. I don't think he can be bursted. 2000 HP, especially with Oracle sitting behind him with the Blink Dagger to close the gap. Full Daedalus on TA on top of that.
Hey, where'd I go?
Ori just holding on to a net worth lead over the troll.
What can I say? Nature
Radiant's
loves
Going
top tower
Swift
is
Blink
under attack.
next.
This might be it. Like, LBZS, they lose a fight. It's game for them.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Orb of Destruction, Quickening Charm dropping. Things that don't look like they're going to help that much. They've got the Meteor Hammer as well as the last, so they get the kill on MS once again. This time he's got buyback, but he has died once more away from his team. There's the Orchid for the Winter Wyvern, just too little too late. Down. 24,000 net worth, but again, game's not over just yet. Jiaofu, though, this life.
What did I say 10 minutes ago, B-Cup? Like, once Templar Assassin gets Daedalus, Wyvern will get two-shotted, and it's exactly what happens. No buyback, just bought that Orchid. Not too much value out of it.
Is under attack.
So they go for the tier 3,
Tower has fallen.
and they are going to look to finish the game.
Are under attack.
There's not much to defend with. Weaver's holding buyback. Winter Wyvern still dead for 10 more seconds.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
I
See if
mean,
they can
maybe
get
the
anything
mentality is
Radiant's middle
stay
barracks
in the
is
game.
falling.
Vici Gaming pulled off big comeback in the previous one. Let's hope something similar can happen in this one. But you need to click the buttons instead of sitting in a fountain.
I'm surprised Weaver held the buyback all the way through. When are they going to try and fight? They'll go with the Walrus Punch, but there's the Abyssal Blade used onto Cat U. They throw Shackle over the Winter Wyvern, and they get the Cone of the Tusk. Kill buyback immediately. Now the Silence coming through onto the TA. Do they have the damage to get this kill?
Oh, the Lotus Orb
the
Snowball.
Lotus Snowball to save him, but it won't save him for long. He's low on a minuscule amount of health, finally popping that Aegis. They get the kill onto Irving. They'll take out the Night Stalker, and now they'll look to control up the TA. In a little bit deeper, the damage
Wow,
onto
900
MS. And there's the Winter's Curse, I believe, reflected again. Old 11 is on it with this Lotus Orb, and so is Vici. They will take game 2. They will sweep the series and finish off LBZS.
Yeah, seemed pretty easy for Vici Gaming after making that huge comeback in the previous one. I think it really affected LBZS, how they're going to play this game. Like, you could feel them in their movement around the map, the way they drafted. I said it in the previous game, like, it was their game to lose. Somehow they managed to do it, and yeah, second game was very quick and easy execution coming out from Vici.
Yeah, Vici doing a very good job. Really holding on to this one. We didn't see anything from like LBZS did in game 1. Vici here, they just went to the high ground. They had everything going, and I guess, you know, that's the difference in experience.
Yeah.
But to break it down a little bit more, we'll send it over to the panel. Back to you, Nomad and Lizard and Black.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, a convincing series in the end from Vici Gaming. Game number 1 looking a little bit rough, but they pull it together in game number 2 and make a showing of LBZ. Again, this is why they're invited, the invited teams, right, lads?
Yep.
Can I just like mention real quick? Like, do you hear that? He was like, back to Nomad, Lizard, and Black. What was that about?
What was that about for real?
Yeah.
Like, why are you last? What order is
Why am I
that?
last? And why am I being like specially? Like why does he use like a special voice?
And you sit in the middle.
Yeah, it's not how we're sitting for sure. Maybe it's in like, I don't know, maybe it's in order of attractiveness. From first to last, from last to first, I don't know.
You never know,
We'll
right?
have to ask him. We'll have to ask him. But
Look, everyone knows that B-Cop is a big China fan when it comes to Dots. Out of us 3, you're the only one that played over there. You're the only one that had those Asian teams.
True.
So I think that's it. I think he has some special affection towards you.
Well,
That's
I
all.
think you're just going into it a bit too much, but but yeah.
I mean, you asked, dude. Like, you
yeah,
started
I mean,
this.
I appreciate your feedback. I really do.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I think it's ask stupid questions, get stupid answers, unfortunately.
No.
But this was not a stupid answer to LBZS. They had exactly the right answers for it. I mean, this Batrider crushed this game, and then the TA crushed the game. And I mean, all the cores were crushing the game. It was just a crushing from start to finish, really. Easy peasy.
Yeah, like the draft, as we said, they were just going to win their lanes. They even swapped around a little bit to give the Batrider an easier lane, which I actually quite like. They just put the Batrider against the Night Stalker. Night Stalker doesn't like to play against Batrider also. And then Weaver has a lot of problems against the Troll tri-lane. And they kept trying to swap around, but it never really worked out. And yeah, the course just snowballed, and there wasn't much I could do.
So difficult to execute this. Like that last lineup, like you can see the potential in the aggressiveness, and you can see that Vici Gaming can fall to that. But in this game, like Black, Lacoste, they both said it, like, yeah, you're trying to adjust your lanes. You put Weaver plus Tusk, which is, for me, it's one of the strongest lanes in the game. Like Weaver Tusk, you get the attack team plus the Geminate attack plus the Sukuchi. It's a lot of damage, but you don't really kill any of these heroes that easily. Batrider will fly over ice shards. Troll, you don't kill him if you have an Oracle next to him. So it's just a very difficult game for LBZS. Plus, Vici Gaming were playing out of their mind. Like those shackles on Weaver were on point. They were catching them off guard constantly. PYW is the man of the series for me, for sure.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. But just going back to the game again, Rico, I think the biggest weakness of LBZS is just the drafting. Both games, I feel. The first game, of course, they played very well, so they gave themselves a shot. But overall, the draft was still very iffy. The second game, same thing. Like, if they need to fletch something out, it's definitely their drafting for me, like throughout this entire league.
Yeah, the thing is, though, I have to return to this point. They have a couple of series behind them in the last 10 days. Vici Gaming, they do not. Vici Gaming can draft their own thing and ban out everything from LBZS, right? That was their biggest issue. You don't see their heroes, like their main cores that they won with, that they've played very successfully with, have been banned out or stolen by Vici Gaming.
There we see. Amazing Windrunner performance.
There he is, looking fresh. Looking very, very fresh. That's a lot of assists. A stunning game from the Windrunner with loads of shackles, and the Batrider getting those key kills early on the core heroes, run down the Weaver, which isn't supposed to happen. Weavers should not die in lane. I think that's kind of part of playing the heroes, that you really don't want to be dying when you're making those aggressive movements. But, sometimes things just don't go by the book, and, the best teams will be able to adapt, overcome. Unfortunately, LBZS didn't do that in this second game, and you could kind of feel, they were still scarred from game number one. They felt like they had that one in the bag. They didn't do so, and then you see kind of the mental weight in game number two, and they're just not really able to bring much to the table in the second match. And you guys say draft. I think we also the mental factors come into play as well. And overall, it just looks like a really, really rough second game. But there's still plenty of Dota to come. It's a long, long league. It's not about these early games. It's not really about kind of who wins or who loses. It's about who learns the most, who's able to improve the most. Because if you do improve, then you will be able to take some games later on in the tournament and possibly get yourself that important high placement, which you really, really need. But Vici Gaming off to a great start. From this performance today, you guys a little bit more convinced about their swapping ups they had just before the tournament?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah. Not really. If you match them up against the team that just qualified, then yeah, they're great. But what happens when they face Elephant?
I mean, I could tell from game one that Erika is very, very timid, very inexperienced. Like the way he team fought, other than on the high ground, he was pretty much perfect there. But it's much easier if you're like on your own high ground, on your own terms.
It's the easiest, but like the next step is the fountain that you're saying.
Yeah, he played really great from fountain.
But before that, in those team fights, he was very timid. He was even scared to just hit once, because of his positioning and everything. So he has a lot to learn and a lot to grow in just 2 months, which is a very big and tall order.
Yep.
But if he matches up against someone like Paparazzi, I don't see them doing as well.
Yeah, you can see that there is an exploitable weak link in their draft so far, in their team composition, that is. So it might be problematic for them down the road. This series, obviously, they found a way to work around it, but down the road, can get iffy.
Especially as we spoke about it, right? Hard carry meta. If your hard carry is considered the weaker link.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree completely with the... of course, it's a hard carry meta. Hard carry is going to carry it eventually, and mid laners right now are playmakers. But it's a little bit, let's say the balance, it's a little bit more balanced out across the map than it was in the last patch, in which you had that Sven and Spectre and literally everyone is just useless after they get farm, right? Like you can't kite them, you can't fight against them, they're just battling it out. How many games did you see in which Spectre and Sven just survive and then they're battling it out 1v1 for like...
Yeah, happy to see those guys, though, taking a side seat as we've got some different interesting carries coming into it. But we do have the standings available to have a look at. You know, only one game so far in the upper division, but the lower division is where we've had a few more games, and we can see the winners and the losers. I think, obviously, the biggest surprise is RNG losing out their first game. I believe that was against SAG, Sparkling Arrow Gaming, which is very interesting, especially considering RNG actually bought God King off SAG a couple of months back now. So them losing their opening game to them is a real shock to the system for the RNG fans out there. Any other surprises there for you guys?
I mean, SAG, I mean, first of all, that they're both in the lower division, of course, because SAG was like the first Chinese team to win the first LAN tournament they had like a long time ago. After they kind of just broke up.
Really good, and then unfortunately.
Now they're both in the lower bracket, and I mean, RNG actually I thought is one of the favorites, but dropped the first game. But again, SAG would be the other favorite for me, so it's not a terrible loss, you know. But you expect more from yourself, like if you're like a name like RNG, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just the first series, though, and probably the main matchup of the group of the lower division. So who knows? Maybe RNG just wipes everyone else off.
True. But you know they'll never play again. That's the thing, isn't it? You only get one chance due to the round robin, unless you meet again in tiebreakers. So that's the way the cookie crumbles. And we're going to be crumbling some cookies in our break, which we're just about to jump to. But then we're going to be back with the next series of the day. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you later for EHOME versus Team MagMa. Buenos dias, everybody, and welcome back to the DPC China League. My name is MagMa. Joining me is Lizard and Black as we get back into the second series of the day. And this time, we're faced with a lovely, lovely treat of Team MagMa versus Team EHOME. Now, once again, it's an invited team versus a qualifying team. So naturally, we're expecting MagMa to be the underdogs. Game number 1 today kind of showed that the underdogs can still stand a chance, but in the end, Vici did pull through. But Black, you tagged this one to be the closest series out of the two today. Why is that?
Simply because I've followed MagMa a little bit even before the open qualifiers, and they have always put up a really good fight, even against the better teams. And it just feels like, like if there were more invited teams, they were probably like pretty close on the how to be, when to get invited list. Probably like 5th or 6th. So out of the qualified teams, I think they're probably the team with the biggest chance of causing upsets.
No, out of the qualifier teams, I think they did the best in the qualifier as well. They won versus LBZS, versus IG as well.
They won the first qualifier, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Which is like you basically beat all the best teams, and then the second qualifier, if you win that, then.
But there are some different parallels in this game too. So we have a different carry coming for EHOME as well, right? Black, you know him.
Ajit, yeah.
Yeah, Ajit.
He's
well.
actually a Malaysian player. From
Yeah. I mean, we've seen him before. He's not unexperienced. We've seen him in different teams. But then again, we have another invited team with a different carry.
Yeah. It seems to be kind of like a trend, not only in China, but also other regions where people just like last minute make a change because of some personal difference.
Yeah, internal issues.
Yeah, like even Dendy's team also. One guy like.
No, Dendy's team, 5 up.
5 up.
I actually had him in a pub a few days ago, and he was like, "I'm not good for this. I'm not good for anything." Like, he was very down about it a little bit. Yeah, but Dendy's not playing too because of COVID, that he actually has, sadly. Wishing him all the best.
COVID?
Yeah.
All the best, man. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, all the best. Hopefully makes full recovery. But back to the series at hand. Of course, MagMa, one of the newer teams. So for those people who don't know, how does this MagMa team function? Are they like the classic Chinese team where they're playing around their carry, or are they more of like a split even team? Yeah,
you're completely down with the first thing that you said. That's completely right. And when you look at the EHOME, they're also a complete Chinese team. Like when you think about the way they play, and you can see similarities in drafts. Like both of these teams, they like their hard carries, like your Arc Wardens, your Medusas, and we might see some parallels there. Maybe some of these will be banned out. We see something like mid lane Lycan with Jug on safe lane as well that they like to draft. Like we just talked about that. Like Lycan, I mean, every patch, I have a feeling that this hero is broken. Like, what's happening here? Every patch, for the first 2 weeks, Lycan buys Necros and kills me. Can someone explain why?
I think that's just a guy at Valve that really likes dogs. Like, he just really likes doggies, and he's just like, yep, every patch.
Look, I have 2. I love dogs, but I don't like Lycan. I don't love that.
Well, that's cause is wolves. Different. Wolves are like dogs, but more aggressive, basically, right?
I have Malamute.
There's a lot of differences.
I have Malamute, which is the closest to the wolf you can get as a dog. So, but he's not aggressive at all. He's a fool.
The closest you can get to a wolf as a human.
Definitely. I don't doubt that for a second.
In case you didn't know, when it turns full moon, I'm not there.
Oh.
It's day 1.
Where are you? Where are you exactly?
I mean, I don't know. All right. I don't remember anything. No, but like what you said about the, they have like the very Chinese style. That's what worries me a bit about EHOME now, because Ajit is not really like a super hard carry player. Like he actually loves to play heroes like Puck, the space making kind of heroes. So I'm a little bit worried for EHOME, whether they can get away with that hard carry strategy or not. That is like so successful in this patch.
All right, the SCA blood as well, right? That's
yeah.
It can be problematic.
He's a very kind of on-brand player for SCA, isn't he? But whether that fits into Chinese Dota remains to be seen. And of course, Xnova as well. He's been playing in China for a long time, but also a Malaysian player. And there's also the 2 players from LGD, right? Chalice and Xnova in EHOME, and then 2 of them are in Vici, and then one of them still remaining in LGD. So they've kind of like split up.
So what do you think? Who who would you count as better, like Ori and the other one, or Xnova and Chalice? Like, which side would you take? If you could take, if that team is breaking apart in the middle, where would you go? Would you go with Xnova or would you go with Ori?
As a carry player, Xnova.
Xnova.
Yeah. I'm good friends with him.
He's amazing. He's
a
cool.
great guy. He's a great guy. I don't know too much about Ori. I'm sure he's also a nice guy.
Yeah.
But I'm good friends with Xnova, so I would be on his side.
Right, I see.
Obviously, he would also love to be on my side because I'm just a beast.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wolfman, beast. Yeah, I mean,
who
wouldn't?
Like, what is my weakness? I'm too nice. So anyway, what do you think?
I think you're nice as well, Black.
No, not about me, but about...
I see, right, about the actual Dota.
We don't need to talk about me.
Okay, we'll stop
knows.
talking about you for a minute then.
Yeah.
I really like Xnova as well. He's a lovely guy. He's on Twitter as well. He's just really nice. Always bigging up the tier 2 casters as well. He's just lovely. But yeah, so for me, it's too hard. My emotions get in the way. If I'm ignoring my heart, honestly, like Chalice and Xnova is kind of like that combo, right? That 5 and that 3 position, which always played together so well. I think I do have to say EHOME in that as well. But yeah, obviously, a lot has changed since those days. But those two still kind of share that bond, and they seem to be very close, and they make teams work.
Yeah, there's this trend, very old trend in EU, in which if something isn't working in your team, you just kick the position 5.
Yeah, right away.
Yeah, you just kick the position 5 and you get that refreshment and you kind of make it work with the new one, but then you...
For like a week?
For a week, and then you fall back again to your old habits, right?
Yeah.
Like position 5s are rarely the problem why the team doesn't work, but they also carry that burden of captaining most of the time, and that's where the biggest responsibility really is in teams.
Sure, but I mean, I feel is like one of the biggest weaknesses of tier 2 and below teams, especially in Europe and CIS, that just causes so much instability, It's not always the support's fault. Like when you look at China, they don't make super many roster changes on the fly, Like they try for a month, 2, maybe 3 sometimes, because first of all, they're much more serious with the contracts and everything, but also because they actually want to find out what is the problem, Like you can't just make changes every week and expect to be super good.
Right. So look, I had the same exact idea in some of my teams, and I was so wrong, like trying to figure it out as a team when there's literally one player that doesn't work as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
I completely agree with you, and I think you should stick. Like my mentality was always stick as a team, figure it out together. But when there's someone that doesn't work, when there's someone that's just lacking on the side, just kick him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if that's the case, yeah, but like
on that level,
it's not always the +5 that's lacking.
Yeah,
of
course.
Like whoever it is, if somebody is slacking and the others are working much harder, and you told him that, and he still doesn't fix it, yeah, then you need to find a team that's more suitable for you.
Some lower division team, perhaps. Maybe some pubs.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of more true. We see in the kind of tier 2 scene, we see a lot of these 5 stacks kind of sticking together for a long time. Maybe sometimes longer than they should, but then the other ones, they do find that magic, like Liquid and Viking from EU. But, like some of these, MagMa have been together quite such a long time now.
There's a magic word that Dominic, that Black just said, and that's contract. Like you can't do it in Europe because you're not contracted. You don't have an organization, and then when Secret comes calling for Nisha, that's playing for alternate attacks for like $250 a month, like he's not gonna think about it. He's gonna leave, of course. Yeah. You know what I mean? Same goes for Saberlight, who was with Hippomaniacs for a really long time. So in China, it's different. Obviously, if you're serious about it, if you have a contract, if you're earning money, then why would you risk that for some stupid changes?
I mean, you can also like tell. There's all these stories about like transfer fees of like $500,000 in China. All this. No way will you ever hear that in Europe or like anywhere right now, really. Yeah, it's just China.
What was the biggest transfer fee here? It was for Ramses, I think, from Virtus Pro to EG, right?
Yeah, but what was that? I don't even know.
I heard speculations about numbers, but it was around 100 maybe K.
There was also GPK's buyout from Gambit, which was extremely high. But, that was so high that no one even wanted to do it. They just waited. Same with FNG, I think, or maybe it wasn't quite as high for FNG, but I know certainly Gambit put very high buyouts on their players. So like it's hard to actually buy the players out, and they're one of a couple of organizations which do that. But in China, it's always like that. If you want to get a player from another team, then you better come come with money on the table and a good deal. Otherwise, they're just gonna laugh at you.
Actually, I feel like a lot of European and CIS companies and stuff, they just put like an absurd number just to kind of like block them. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like to anybody out there who signs a contract, you have to read everything. Like, don't just be like, yeah, now I'm gonna make some money playing Dota. You have to really, like I come from a time like I've been playing for like 13, 14 years professionally. Yeah. Back then, the contracts were way more abusive. Like nowadays, it's like much more like equal. But you still gotta like read everything. Life advice with Black.
So your advice is great when you're living in a well-developed Western country. Like for me, when I was coming up and I'm signing a contract, I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like I'll sign it. Like who's gonna come hunt me in some Bosnia? I'm just saying that. Some of these contracts that I've signed throughout the years also weren't really respected by the organization too.
Yeah,
to their word as well, right? Because they're like, okay, what are you actually going to do?
You're not going to enforce anything.
Yeah, you're not going to enforce. The worst thing that can happen is you go public about it, right? And you trash talk them and
Twitter
that's
post.
It. Yeah, you
didn't pay me.
The dreaded twit longer.
Yeah, that's it, right? That's it.
Yeah, but nowadays it's like obviously much more scary. As like esports in general gets more developed, people take this much more seriously. They will actually put like actions on you, All right. Like legal actions.
I have a question for you, Black. What was not the highest amount that you ever won on a tournament? What was the lowest amount that you won? Can you remember it?
You mean just prize money?
Yeah, prize money.
Okay, so
exactly.
If we're talking just lowest ever, it would probably just be before money was even involved.
Okay, not before money, with money, like with money.
Okay, probably 500, so like $100.
That's solid.
Yeah, I think the last place in the tournament was like...
he's definitely getting beaten. I'm not going to even go into contest.
Like $100.
Yeah, well, that's solid. What was the tournament? Can you remember?
No, I don't know. It was like super far back. It's probably just as Dota 2 started.
Was it Dota 1 or Dota 2?
Dota 2.
Yeah.
Lizard, what about you? Well, what's your lowest winnings?
It's not in Dota. Like in Dota, it's probably some also like $200. No. I remember we played. So
it's coming.
It's coming. So just listen to these names: Viha, Mind Control, like probably half of today's Nigma. Nisha was too young back then. But there was this tournament called League of Dota. It was ran once a week on Sunday. You literally play the whole day from the morning. It's all best of ones. From the morning, like at let's say noon up until midnight, you earn $50. $50. In the finals, it was always we. Literally his stack versus my stack. Literally every Sunday.
How many times did you win?
I won quite a. That's literally how I made money back then. Like I was earning, like I was winning versus his stack quite often. Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, interesting.
Very good. Yeah, that earning that 50. Well, I take that was $50 each, right?
No.
Oh.
No.
No, trust me. Back then it was not.
No, it was not $50 each, man.
Oh dear.
But it was stable and they paid out. Because some tournaments you play, you don't even know if they pay, right?
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say anything about that.
Yeah.
I've had some dreading experiences.
Yeah, it's a different kettle of fish, which we won't get into today. But fortunately, we're having some coordinator issues. The draft is going to be just around the corner, hopefully. But of course, we can't decide what the Valve server's deciding to do today, unfortunately. But guys, looping back into to the meta, what are your favorite shards of the patch so far? Which ones have you enjoyed playing with? And which ones are just downright awful?
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I've loved... Okay, down one... Just awful shard straight off the bat. First, Broken Hero, most useless shard ever, OD. I just can't. It's just so bad.
Dude, I love how you stand there.
I know, but for the viewers, what
listen, there is use. I bought it once because I was playing versus a Rubik, and he would steal a imprisonment, and they would win a team fight just by imprisoning different targets on Rubik, right? So I bought a shard just to use that spell after imprisoning, so he steals a useless spell, and then I laughed at him in old chat. That's it.
What is it? Is it to swap?
So what the spell does is like you swap 75% of your mana to your health. So like they say you have like 4k mana, you get like 3k health. But The problem is it has 1.5 seconds cast time where you just stand there and do like this weird animation thing.
I see what the fist pumping was about. I think
it's
it's
like
really pumped.
it's so bad.
And I'm also not sure if it's max mana or if it's the mana that
Current mana,
current
current
mana,
mana,
which
yeah.
makes it even worse.
Yeah.
I mean, you always have mana on OD, but still, it's like
Yeah. But then after that, because your ult is also based on current mana, you like basically deal like 1.5k less damage with your ult.
You just ruin yourself. You ruin yourself in every possible way.
Well, you know, after you've used it, I don't know. It does sound pretty awful, though. I think I'm pretty solid. I was going to go for the Leshrac shard. I think the Leshrac shard is pretty awful.
Really?
It's like a... oh, yeah, you
multiple
cast Split
split
Earth, and then it's got like a 5-second delay, and then another Split
Yeah,
Earth.
but in a Roche pit or something, it gets bigger, you know,
yeah,
the
I
radius.
mean, that's like the one point where it's like, yeah, okay, you can delay
There's
Roche
some
with
use.
it,
There's
but
some use.
there
there,
is a
definitely.
use.
He's not a
but-
believer.
Yeah, he doesn't. You like
One thing I do like, though, is if you have a setup stun and you have a Yules, then you can save your Yules, use the setup stun from like your other hero, Atos or whatever, and then use them after the first hit, and then they'll come down and they'll have like half a second to get away from the second stun, which you usually can't
And
do.
another use, if you get hit by the
so-
third stun, your stun is off cooldown again, you can stun him again. Because it's only
True,
like
if
9
they
seconds cooldown.
decide to stand in the same place for 15
I mean,
seconds.
sometimes
then-
you don't have a choice,
you
you know?
know?
Sometimes you don't have a choice.
True. If you're rooted for 15 seconds, I think you have other issues. But anyway,
Probably.
Vlad, do you have any particularly useless shards you've been enjoying?
Useless.
Enjoying hating? I mean, it's literally Hoodwink shard, which is literally useless because it doesn't do
Yeah,
anything.
He doesn't have
you
one,
know.
right?
Yeah.
That's a technical
It's,
answer.
it's funny that you can still buy it, but it doesn't,
But it doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
Just like Aghanims.
yeah, Aghanim.
What is like useless? Like OD is definitely the most useless for me, but
Okay.
Visage's shard is a bit better, but
what does that do?
Yeah.
it's stone form. Like you drop down like a bird.
Isn't it like 70-second cooldown or something
Yeah, it's
crazy?
very
Like
long.
it's really long for some
But you can
reason.
kind of use it, you know, if the team
Yeah.
fight is going really poorly or something, you can save yourself, let's say.
Yeah,
His
Vanish is
Aghanims,
always good.
however, is goddamn
Oh,
broken.
it's so fun. It
Or
completely
the
changes
flying
the hero.
invis thing.
Flying invis, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You become old Nigma and where you just fly across the map doing whatever you want to
So
do.
strong.
Like, it's really fun. It completely changes the hero as well. You go from like being quite tied to lanes for a hero which struggles with mobility to being a hero which kind of just flies around the map. You know, you just don't have a care in the world. You just
Yeah.
look for heroes and have fun.
How about we talk about strong shards instead?
Please, continue.
Okay,
Kick us off.
Okay, so my
What?
favorite shard, 100%, is Bristleback. Where you, like,
Oh, yeah,
where
the
you, like the
ball.
hairball. It's called hairball. You just spit at them, and you get 2 stacks of cool spray and 1 stack of goo.
Hairball.
Hairball. It is actually so good, you know, like when you run away, you get like 4 stacks of spray on you, and then you turn around and you hairball them,
Yeah.
and then you can lose like 600 health instantly, and they're like, whoa, what the hell happened? It's actually really good.
So another shard that's really good that actually counters his hero more, not completely but a little bit, Silencer. So his shard
Oh, yeah.
gives him glaives like Luna. Well, it's only 1 hit, but you still int from both hits.
But it only deals half damage. It only deals
It only
half
deals
damage.
half damage, but you still int from
Yeah,
both
yeah.
heroes. So you just melt through everyone, and you steal their int, so they don't have mana to spam Quill Spray, let's say. So it's pretty nice. I like it.
It's pretty tasty. It's
Just
pretty
be
tasty.
smarter.
Just be smarter, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Bloodseeker one a lot. I mean, it's really boring. It is like by far the most boring shard in the game, but it's pretty good. It gives him feast basically. He does he heals and deals
The old
2%
feast,
of
yeah.
their was it 1.5% or 2%? I don't know, of their total health pool. Yeah, it's basically old feast. So it's pretty boring. But considering the hero now has a Q which gives him an insane amount of attack speed. It works out pretty nicely, and you can turn into a bit of an unexpected tank. You know, you just turn around and man fight the enemy carry, and they're like, "That's a Bloodseeker. Why is he doing that?" No one's quite figured it out yet. But
Shard on Spirit Breaker isn't that bad as well. Like
Or the
pretty
break
good.
thing, right?
the break thing plus Magic Immune after using
Yeah.
it. You're Magic Immune for like 2-3 seconds.
You know, I realized this patch they introduced so many break mechanics.
Exactly. That's the first
Yeah.
thing I saw.
That's like
Spectre.
PA has a break,
Yeah.
Spirit Break has a break, Viper has a break, Hoodwink has a
Ulti
break,
as
yeah.
well,
oh yeah, true.
I mean, there's so many shards that suddenly just have breaks.
Yeah.
Out of heroes you would never expect it.
I think it's one of the reasons why Spectre falls off right off the bat, right? Like you give all these heroes breaks. Like imagine before Spectre is picked, you suddenly don't have a hero with break mechanic, and you're kind of doomed in the drafting stage itself, right?
Yeah.
And right now, like if you have 2 picks left, you can kind of adjust to it. You can pick some hero on any position that has a break, so that's nice.
Yeah, it's a really nice little little way to counter Spectre, who was previously really strong.
Or any hero with passive that is.
Yeah.
Like,
Wait, hear me out. So,
All right.
Ricky, right? One of the most meta carries right now.
Yep.
But listen to this. You play him pos 4, which most people would see as griefing, right? But you can actually trade fairly well. You can interrupt pulls and everything, you know, if you actually play it properly.
Okay.
But then after that, you build into Meteor Hammer, and then minute 20, you buy the shard, which puts people to sleep for 3 seconds. You sleep them, and then you Meteor Hammer them. It's a huge amount of damage, and it's a really good setup for your team.
So one problem that I see in this build, first and foremost, let me say I love Ricky position 4. I actually think that it's back.
Oh my god.
With the amount of armor, region, and utility that you have in the lane, I actually think Ricky 4 should be back, should be played again.
Okay.
But it's always like that. You see these heroes that are completely busted, like OD, let's say. Everyone is playing it offlane. Why not play it mid? Like, this hero is just as strong right now on mid. You're gonna destroy people with the amount of damage that you deal, right? Like, he's still strong on mid as well, even though everyone is like experimenting 4 and 5. Same goes with Ricky. Like, you can play him 4, but he's just such a strong carry at the moment.
Yeah,
it's expensive to buy all those items.
Yeah. Of course it is. But it's very fun.
Yep.
It kind of seems to be the way things go, though. You know, like eventually you notice these strong heroes, and then like Team Secret or OG or someone play them as a pos 4, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh well, yeah, we can do this as well with them, and now you can just pick it and flex it, because obviously flexing stuff in the draft is really strong. So if you show that you can play a hero in the pos 4, then you know they just have to ban the hero against you. Otherwise, your draft's going to be a nightmare when they take this strong hero and you can play it in 2 different ways. I think that's one of the biggest things about drafting, which gets overlooked sometimes, the ability to flex these certain heroes. Yeah, so out of all those shards and all those Aghanims changes, you know, there's some really fun ones in there, and a lot of fun heroes. But yeah, I'm not sure I can get. I don't know. Maybe I can get behind Ricky with the Meteor Hammer. Is that how you're building him, with Meteor Hammer as well? Or?
No. I actually haven't thought about that, but I always find different ways to lose on my own. I don't need Black's help as well.
Let me just give you another way to lose. If you're OD, you know, your orb is now max mana dependent, or like how much mana you have right now, like 20% mana cost, right?
Yeah, okay.
I played against a partner once, at 4,000 mana.
I see what you did already.
I died in 1 hit. Because he skilled the Nether Ward damage talent.
Yeah, I see.
I hit once, I just died. From full health. I was like, what the hell just happened to me?
It happened to me as Silencer versus Nyx. I mean, I didn't kill myself, but by stealing so much int, I died in 1 mana burn. So that was also
some of these things are so, just like,
look at that stage, man.
It's so colorful. I mean, that's what I like, you know. We often in esports we go edgy, we go like, you know.
There's only 4 of them. Where's the 5th?
Oh, I'm sitting here. What? Wrong country. Sorry, EHOME. No, I think Ajit is playing online, right? Because it's from Malaysia.
Oh.
That sounds like a big disadvantage, actually.
Yeah.
It sounds like a huge disadvantage.
Doesn't it? Yeah. So that means, yeah.
I didn't actually think about that.
That's actually interesting. So they didn't manage to get him there on time.
So I don't know if it's a get there, or I don't know if... I think Malaysia right now is in a lockdown. So I actually don't even know if LGD is going to have X-Nova either.
Oh, I see.
Because, yeah, there's a lockdown right now, and...
Wait, EHOME, you mean?
Here they are, Team MagMa, entering the stage in their lovely, lovely jackets. I like those nice long jackets. Hello. Looking pretty dope.
They're all there. They're ready.
Wait. Is X-Nova in EHOME now?
EHOME, yeah. So
really?
maybe it's him or...
What did I miss? Wow, I thought he was still LGD.
Yeah.
Was it like very recent or what?
Yeah, we were just talking about it.
We're having this conversation. They have 2 Malaysian
been,
players.
No, that's why I was so confused about the conversation.
We literally talked about it.
I was so confused about the conversation. Like, where would you go? With X-Nova, obviously. He's actually in EHOME.
I think Black might be getting some electric currents being passed through him from those headsets or something. Might need to look into that production. Yeah,
that's snail now.
Yeah, Mr. Snail. We're going through a lot of animals with you already.
From a wolf to a snail in one panel. That's
not on full moon, though. Not on full moon. You don't want to meet me at full moon.
What moon is it right now? Do you even know?
I'm gonna get one of those apps that tracks full moon cycles.
And it never works. Full moon in 24 hours. It was actually like in 10 days.
We're just gonna sit outside his room, just listening at the door, trying to see if he's doing it.
Yeah, but I'm very interested in what's gonna happen. I will message him actually. What XnOva and see what's up. Like, why are there only 4? Maybe it's just on the camera. Maybe one of them is in the booth.
Did you
already.
see XnOva when EHOME was there?
I actually didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't
me
see
neither.
XnOva as well.
So maybe
I did
Ajit
take
is
a
there,
good look,
but
though.
or maybe I don't know.
There
That's
you go.
Ajit.
Yeah.
Hello. Wait,
Yeah,
that's
he's-
Ajit, right?
Hello.
Very big smile. Hello.
Yeah.
Aw, he's a happy chappy.
Yeah,
Ready to play
cheerful.
some Dota. Don't blame him. DPC's back on. Everyone's happy. This guy's happy too.
Yeah, especially him. Like, you know, he just got invited to an upper bracket team like that.
True.
Come play for me. I'm like, okay, I'm in.
All right, so that eliminates any talk of visa issues or anything like that, or travel bans or whatever. It has to be internal issues that made them replace the carry, right? Like, that's it. That's why he's there.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll see how what's gonna happen. I have my doubts simply because of his playstyle, but we'll see. Maybe he can impress me, which is not easy. It's
Yeah,
not easy to impress.
you're a very difficult person to impress. I
Yes,
know.
you would know, of
Yeah,
course.
I would know.
Nomad probably doesn't know yet, but
I
you
don't
will
know.
also get to know,
You'll
Okay.
understand it on the next full moon as well.
Okay.
which might be soon, or maybe not. I don't know.
You think you would know, you know, being such a major event happens on a full moon. I thought you'd have this kind of thing on lockdown, but do you just
I
kind of
mean, it
wing
just
it?
happens, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like life is life. What can I say?
Life is life.
Dun, 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 dun.
Team
Na,
MagMa.
na,
You got it.
na, na, na.
Life. All right. In any case, I actually think that this is closer than the first matchup. We'll see how
Yeah.
it goes, but Team MagMa, they did show better performance recently, and because of that, I think that they might have better chance at taking EHOME than LBZS had at taking Vici Gaming.
They also have a really cool name,
Yep.
MagMa.
MagMa.
How did they come up with that? I like hot stuff, like MagMa.
We're a bunch of hot boys playing Dota. Let's call ourselves Team MagMa. Why not?
They do have very fiery MagMa outfits as well.
Yeah,
as you can
I
see.
love the outfits. I love the shirts, definitely.
They
Might
don't have
to,
gaming in their name though, so they're not gamers. It's not MagMa Gaming.
It's
do,
not.
Do,
it's
do you
not.
like when a team has gaming in it?
No, it's way too many
It's way
now.
too much, right?
Like in China alone, I think it's
Yeah.
like 12 teams. Or
A
something.
lower division, there's like every team is like gaming, and then you have Team Dragon, just
Dragon and
Dragon,
Dynasty
yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
I think
and
Dynasty also
Dynasty,
just
yeah.
one word. Like, yeah, Dynasty's pretty dope as well.
Sparkling
Do
Arrow.
you guys know the difference
Sparkling.
between? Do you guys know the difference between Magma and Lava though?
One is still active and one is like, no? You can-
Nearly, you're near there. Lava is above ground and Magma is underground.
Underneath.
So under us is Magma, but if it comes up to the surface,
It's lava.
It's lava.
So like if it
Okay.
erupts,
So-
it's lava. Before it erupts, it's magma?
Yeah.
Magma, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if they win,
They're lava.
If they
They're
erupt,
lava.
yeah, they might change
They
to Team
erupt.
Lava if they erupt.
Team Magma / lava. That would be
Catchy.
the lamest team name ever. Team Magma /
it's a pretty cool name. Like, I like the word for the word itself. So
There it is.
it's
I like the etymology.
Yep.
Cool. What about EHOME? You know, a classic esports brand. This team's been around for eons under various
Is it
different.
one of the first, right?
Yeah, very old.
Like,
But it turned into kind of a meme when people started saying EHOME go home. It's kind of-
yeah.
It was so mean.
They
Poor
had
EHOME.
some issues at the beginning as well because they weren't a part of that big organization there,
Yeah,
so, which I think they had problems finding sponsors and whatnot because of that too. But they're still here, man.
They've been around forever.
Yeah,
Like, even
forever.
Dota 1, I remember EHOME burning
Yep.
back then, way back.
Who was your anti-mage?
Burning.
Yeah, of
The-
course.
Okay,
He was.
so literally when I came to China, they called, he was B God, right?
Yeah,
and they called me Little B God because my anti-mage playstyle was just
Was the
identical to
same,
his.
yeah.
And they called me like Little B God because I'm younger than him, you know, I'm like his student basically.
Yeah.
I did everything he did, like to the T. Like I just copied him 100%.
That's it.
So when we met in real life, it was pretty awkward. He's like, what are you doing?
Were you shaking?
No,
and
I
whatnot?
should have
Hello,
just
son.
I should have just done everything the same as him in real life too. Like he orders I don't know,
Did
like
you
a
copy him?
burger.
Yeah,
Like, I buy a burger too. The way he eats with the left hand, I eat with the left hand too. That would be so fun.
So when you met him and he said hi, you just copied it hi. How are you?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't speak much English, unfortunately. So I couldn't actually talk to him until I was I've been in China for like, I don't know, like 1.5 years, because that's when I really got to like understand the language better and everything.
How did you learn it, by the way? Just by these simple conversations with your teammates, or
Okay,
did
so
you actually study it?
So first, before I went to China, 6 months before I went to China, I studied online by myself. So I took like these online classes. And then when I got to China, I had private lessons every day for 2 hours. And then, of course, like you live in the environment. Like almost nobody speaks English. Like in my team, nobody other than I spoke English. So I had to speak Chinese. Otherwise, I can't talk to anyone. You know. So living in that environment actually really helps to get better at the language.
Of course.
Reminds me of when I went to TI9 as a journalist, and unfortunately I was in a kind of more residential area rather than touristy area, and like the people I was going with, they were like, "Oh, don't worry, you'll be able to order food fine. It's you just point at the pictures and they'll know what you mean." And I was like, "Oh, okay," but I was in like a residential area, like no one spoke Chinese, there weren't pictures, and I was like, "Okay, I'll just order this," and I managed to order eel twice whilst I was there, which was not good.
Only twice?
Only twice. Yeah, true. I managed to not.
You're a vegan as well, so vegetarian.
A vegetarian, yeah.
So it was very difficult.
I was kind of just like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. How do I not eat this without looking rude? I really didn't want to upset anybody.
No, as I said, it's very tough. Like the culture there, especially the older people, they do, like the shop owners, they usually don't speak English at all.
Yeah, but they were really friendly though. Like
They're
every now and
really
again.
friendly to foreigners. They're really,
Yeah,
really
yeah.
friendly.
Like they'd always practice. They were very excited to practice their English on me, and like they'd come and sit with me whilst I was eating, because I mean they could tell from a mile off. They're like, "Pfft, look at that guy." And they come over and like just start eating and talking at me and just being like, yeah, you know, telling me about their businesses, and I'm like, awesome, cool, that's great. You guys are awesome. It was really nice. I felt very, very indoctrinated into your community, which was nice. Yeah, very wholesome times.
So I had like this 5-hour train ride in China from one city to another, and I was just like studying Chinese, right? So I was like saying out words loud, and then this one guy came to me. He was, turned out he was a doctor, like a super smart guy, and he basically just sat next to me and he learned Chinese with me, or rather he was trying to teach me, you know, with like words I would have trouble with and stuff. So Chinese people are actually really, really nice.
Yeah, they are
it's
as
like,
well.
It's like Slavic people, actually. Like Slavs are very warm-hearted when it comes to hospitality. Not in pubs, though. In pubs, that does not reflect reality at all. In pubs, you can learn some words that they probably don't use very often in real life.
So they're nice to foreigners, but who is, in your experience, not nice to foreigners? For me, 100%
I think
the French.
we might need to take a quick
Stop,
U-turn here and maybe throw it over to a break, because we are still having some technical issues, but we will get those sorted out in
My
time.
enemies.
Jesus Christ. Alrighty, guys, we're going to throw it over a short break, then we're going to be back. Don't go anywhere, as we have got more China DPC action to come just after this short break.
Those goddamn.
Hello and welcome back to the Chinese DPC, where we are getting into our series, and it looks like we've got those little technical issues all sorted out. So we are now getting into the draft of the second series of the day. It is EHOME versus Team MagMa. The invited team versus the qualified team, Team MagMa. You know, they've been on the up and up over time. This team stuck together, improved together, forming together this igneous rock that has become the foundation of this team. And wow, what a draft we have already. We're storming through this one. So, guys, why don't you take us through what we've got so far on the table?
So, Team MagMa already opening up with the same draft they had before, like Nyx and Tusk. It's nothing unordinary for them. They had Nyx, Tusk, Mars, Void Spirit, and Terrorblade. That was literally their draft.
+5
we'll
Nyx?
see. I think so, yeah. I think so, it should be. We'll see if EHOME bans out. Nyx with the shard right now, though, is pretty solid on a 4-2, right? Like, you could do it.
If you buy Dagon, it's just too much damage. But yeah, like a Nyx 5 is also not bad because he has a very high HP region, like 5 level 1. If you put on the tank,
highest, right? Is there anyone higher than Nyx?
I think he's the highest, yeah.
Yeah.
You sure Pugna doesn't have more?
Pugna?
I think he might have more.
Pugna?
Pugna.
No, he has like 1 or something. Pugna is quite low.
I think Nyx is the highest as
And
well.
Nyx is like super high. I think the second highest is probably Ricky. Ricky has super high region too.
Oh, HP region. Oh, my bad. I thought we were talking about in-game. My bad.
There's some of these super high strength heroes as well that
like
get
Centaur
some,
and stuff. Yeah.
like 4.2 or something, but Nyx is the highest. EHOME, however, they're opening up with a very solid draft. Like we mentioned Troll before and how he's the top of the pack right now when it comes to carries. You couple that with Oracle and you have the save potential to use that ulti every single time.
Yeah, and lanes very well against either of those heroes, and it does very well against either of those heroes in the game as well. You don't really take much damage from Tusk because you have so high armor. And of course, Oracle is just one of the best heroes with Troll. Like, if you all in on a Troll and he ever gets Oracle ulted and he presses his ult, he's at full health.
Yeah.
And you probably are just going to lose the engagement. It's a very good combination, very good lane.
I always loved Axe versus these two heroes, though, when they're comboed. You don't care about Oracle ulti, you don't care about Troll ulti.
Yeah.
The problem is the laning stage, if you can manage to go through it. Right?
Yeah.
That is the big problem against Troll always. It's such a strong laner. It's insane.
So good. Yeah, and Oracle as well, also a very good laner. I mean, usually he struggles a little bit early on, but when he hits 3, he's just a beast.
He's level 3. He is the highest nuker in the game. I think him and Disruptor, right? Like
Gotta be
for
close.
support.
His nuke is like, what, 480 damage or something?
And his cooldown is non-existent almost. So.
Yeah, he's a bit of a happy chappy in that laning phase, provided he gets those early levels. You can bully him early sometimes, but I mean, it's very hard to pull off. With most heroes, you've got to draft really well into it. But we mentioned before that Tusk can counter the Oracle in some regards. You know, you can get on top of him, you can punch him in the face. Always a good way to counter these annoying little supports. Just go and whack him.
I'm just wondering if MagMa will just pick the same 3 heroes they picked before. Like they had the same draft, then they followed up with the Mars to cover for that TB pick. They picked the TB afterwards. TB versus Troll is a weird one, though. It used to be heavily Troll favored, right? Like a long time ago, Troll used to be the counter, but it's been changed a little bit.
It's a very iffy matchup because, like, if Troll gets on the TB with his ult on, TB just gets crushed.
Yeah.
But if TB can just keep his distance, then Troll has no chance. Yeah, it's all about the kiting.
And I think now TB has like a lot of options against him. You know, obviously Skadi's always been there, but that's a great option to play into the Troll. And they added the health regen de-amplification onto that, which made it better. And then of course you've got the ability with the Ags, right? So all these little things kind of just add up and give TB like loads of options if you do get to that late game. But Troll can also just run you over sometimes. That bad guy has no chill.
They ban out the 2 other top carries of the patch. Instead, they ban out the Lycan and the Raid King. Like, your pubs are 99% infested if you're playing by these two. So
yeah, the worst part is that when you ban one of them, they never get banned. It's just a 50-50 chance. Yeah, so it never happens. They also ban out the Razor, of course, to cover for the Troll. Always has been one of the hardest counters in the game, still is. And we have even seen it last Series 2. Must be like some China region thing, because I haven't seen it much in other regions.
No, it's not picked very often. I did see a couple more, like, let's say I played 100 games in the last week or so. I did see more Razors than usually. Like, they haven't done too well, though.
Yeah, Unsurprising.
Not surprised. Yeah.
Poor Razor. He's just had a really bad couple of patches, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Haven't seen much of the guy at all.
I mean, they just took away his ability to farm, basically. You know, like his ult used to be his farming spell. Now he only has Plasma Field, which is nowhere near enough. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure they will figure something out
At least
again.
he can hit now with the link. He can choose who to hit after linking, which is, I guess, a bit better. Centaur here, you have that disengage potential versus EHOME. You have obviously a way of initiating. The laning stage itself is a little bit different with the Centaur right now, as you do deal a lot of nuking damage. It's not all about that retaliate. You can play differently. So
actually, most people don't even skill retaliate anymore.
Yeah,
they just go nuke,
stomp and double
nuke.
edge, yeah.
So they take the Mars on EHOME. Rubik Mars, one of the better lanes in Dota. They do go for the
He's strong.
Terrorblade
There it
again.
is, TB.
So MagMa, they're just copying what they did before, and Centaur is the only odd hero out. And I'm surprised that they picked Centaur, let's say, over Mars, because now you're playing into the Mars as a TB, which can be problematic. We saw it already today.
Yeah. It's actually absurd how little damage you take as a Mars, even without farm.
Yeah.
When Terrorblade unwillingly hits you, you just take no damage. And it's so good to save your teammates too. And we saw it in the previous series as well. Like meta TB was just hitting with like 4 or like 3 illusions, and all the attacks just went on the Mars, and the draw ranger was just like, hey, you can't touch me.
Yeah.
my Mars pressed E.
Yeah, Bulwark, and then of course Arena blocking the projectiles as well. There's a lot of nice factors in that matchup, but it does feel like Team MagMa are just doing what they know, and EHOME should be predicting this, right? Like this is very well telegraphed. This should be their answer, what we're seeing right now. So it's very much just MagMa being stubborn and EHOME with their answers. Is it strong enough to beat it, or I don't know.
So one of my most played heroes right now have been banned out. It's the Arc Warden. Now for EHOME, when you're thinking about this Arc, yeah, they've played it before, and it is completely in the China region. Like they love these hard carries. The problem would be obviously, who is your playmaker in the mid game? Can your troll really do that much to allow this Arc Warden to come online? I think that would be maybe a bait pick, even though it's amazing versus TB.
I mean, Troll, there's like this really good item build right now for mid-troll. I mean, obviously, even whether you're carry or mid-troll, you always go Aghanims. But then after Axe, you just go into Eternal Shroud, and you just like literally run into 4 or 5 heroes, and it's so hard to kill you.
Damage, yeah,
because you dispel yourself permanently. You dispel the enemies. You still have your battle trance, and just the magic resistance and spell life leech with like the 4-second cooldown just makes you really, really tanky. So he can be played as like more of a space maker, but it's definitely much more common to be seen as a carry.
Yeah, but it's interesting when you look at these 2 last bans from MagMa. They ban 1 carry that's mostly like Arc can be mid as well, but you'd rather have him on the safe lane. And then you ban out Zeus afterwards. That's mostly mid. So they're not thinking really about lanes. They're just thinking about counters to Terrorblade, and Ember Spirit isn't really as big of a counter as, let's say, Zeus, but he's still in the pool. They could go for that.
There is one thing which is sneaking around in Team MagMa, which I feel like has gone under the carpet a little bit, but this Nyx Assassin is looking like he's having a really good game here. That break can be very useful for bringing down the Mars if you really need to. If he's being annoying on the front line, just disable the Bulwark, bring him down, and messing with the Troll when he's in ulti as well, just disabling from getting the further stacks. And now we see Quap coming out from the side of Team MagMa, so they're not going to go super greedy. They're going to get themselves that playmaking hero. Do you like this draft from Team MagMa?
I like it so far. It looks solid. This is right down their alley. Like, if you watch that first series, Team LBZS, they had been counterpicked quite heavily.
This is such a problem when you play against Nyx. Like, when I play against Nyx, I don't want to pick any of these good in heroes, you know? Simply because of the carapace and the mana burn. And they've been kind of forced into this DK pick, which is... I mean, it lanes okay against Quap, but they're both just pretty much free farm. But now they have like Mars and DK, who are both kind of doing the same job.
I see your point completely. Like, you have these 2 bulky boys that are going to be up front. At least what DK gives you is...
My 2 bulky boys here as well. Bulky boys everywhere. Yeah, alrighty, guys. Again, though, the Nyx Assassin, you know, another good hero versus DK. I feel like they've given this Nyx a really good game, even though it was first pick. Guys, what's your prediction for this first game in the series?
I went with LBZS for the first game of first series. Let's go with MagMa as well in the second series of the day. I believe in the underdogs today. I'm very
You're an optimist.
Yeah, I'm an optimist.
Nice, I love that. Black, realist, optimist. Where are you going?
I'm just going to ignore both names. I'm just going to pick the better draft, which in this case, for me, is MagMa for sure.
Damn. You know what, guys? I'm going to agree with you. I like MagMa's draft. As I said, I think this XctN's gone away with like a really good game. I am afraid of the Rubik Mars lane. That always looks kind of scary, but I think they've got the answers to it. So yeah, I think I'm going to go Team MagMa as well. Unanimously Team MagMa over here. Every single one of us are going for Team MagMa, but it's not an easy decision at all. I think this is a very, very close game. We talked a lot before the game about how close this matchup really could be. Do MagMa have the potential to take a game or possibly a series off Team EHOME, one of the big dogs? Well, we think they very well might, but we're going to hand it over to our casters, who are Bcop and Lacoste.
Thank you very much, Nomad. Lacoste, it's another land first. It's time for MagMa. They're going up against EHOME, who've recently switched from SCC to Ajit. So a lot of things up in the air for these two teams. Are you a believer just like the panel?
I'm a believer. I'm a believer in EHOME. I don't know what these guys are talking about. Let's start with just a name, you know, EHOME with their logo, with their name. I'm just having a flashbacks of Dota 1 days, the early start of Dota 2 days. It just brings a lot of memories to me, you know. I always had a thing for EHOME. I loved the Chinese style throughout all these years, and like if what Black said, if we just remove the team names, I'd favor a bit more Radiance draft. Not slightly, I'd say 55-45. But yeah, I want to see how strong MagMa is, and I think this is the real test.
Yeah, it's definitely a real test. It's going to be interesting because, you know, now you're playing with a different carry if you're EHOME. So I think there are a lot of things up in the air for EHOME. But at the same time, like MagMa, they've flunked out of a lot of tournaments. Maybe it's a little bit different here on land. They're also playing with somebody new. They're playing with Dust. Like, things seem pretty sketchy. I'm interested to see what they can do. DK always feels like one of those Chinese region fallback heroes where it's like, I don't know who to pick.
Yeah,
go to the DK.
DK is like a Chinese classic where it was most of the time throughout the years last pick. Then we had like an era with when he was like, I believe it was the start of 2020, because I was casting some Chinese Dota, where it went from like from the last pick to the like first phase ban, first pick material.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what EHOME can do with this one. Or if we're gonna see MagMa make the upset. Is it an upset at this point? Is it just name brand upset?
I think we can call it a name brand upset. Like, man, look at this logo, EHOME.
The love runs deep for you and EHOME.
It really does.
There will be pain.
What's your favorite EHOME moment? If the love runs deep, what's the pinnacle EHOME moment?
It's really hard to pick one, you know. It's just I believe it was it ESWC when they actually invented the tri-lane.
Seconds to battle.
And that was it. I think they ran like Sven, Lena, Visage. That was Dota 1 days.
Wow.
And I believe they also kind of invented the strategy where everyone is tanky. Vanguard was so popular, they even built it on the range heroes. Like I remember like Razor with the Vanguard, pretty unkillable. Like, you know, they were always very innovative about the picks, about the item build, and they have their like own inter-regional meta. Like once we go back to like lands, they are playing on LAN right now, but when we go to like other regions playing against each other, that's gonna be really fun to watch, because you know this is something that I like the most, like just seeing China play against some other region.
So we'll see what we can get here from EHOME and MagMa. XM over mid up against Dust. XM, rank 1 player. He's actually been towards the top of the rankings for such a long time. It's going to be interesting to see him here up against Dust, someone who's come from IGV, who has struggled a little bit, I would say. It's going to be hard to really tell where he's at right now. It's been a while since, really at all, since he's been on something as prestigious, I guess, is this kind of line event. I don't know if that's the right word to use. Like, you've got a lot of tier 1 talent at this event, and it's been a while since I've seen Dust be be in this kind of situation.
Yeah, I mean, being rank 1 says something. So yeah, let's talk about lanes a bit. They're gonna have TB and XctN as their safe lane against Rubik Mars. Kind of a standard stuff, I would say. Mars, good response to Centaur overall, where you just want to keep them in place so the Stampede will not be really effective. And the top lane, we have Troll and Oracle, because they're playing into 2 melee heroes. Like MagMa, they need to think of something, how they're gonna manipulate the lanes, and Tusk pulls the lane between tier 1 and tier 2 tower, gives some, farm to the Centaur. Bottom lane,
Has in trouble.
A lot of trouble, actually.
He's gonna be first
Very
blood.
dead.
That's that Rubik Mars lane happening to get it first blood. It's a lane that's just become kind of a classic. I know Mars hasn't exactly been around a long time, but it feels like what we used to see Rubik Centaur.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like one of the Chinese classics was also like Omni Knight plus Rubik that was so popular for a very long time. I don't think we should be watching like the mid lane, because nothing fancy is going to happen on the mid lane. You just have a Dragon Knight and Queen of Pain. Both of these heroes are pretty much going to free farm, so I don't think there is kill potential until someone rotates and they get like a level 6. So we're going to have to wait a couple of minutes until something happens there.
Excited to see Chalice on land once again. Telekinesis, missing the spear. I was just about to hype him up. He misses that spear. I think I'll hold back a little bit. I'll wait for him to hit a spear, and then I'll go back into, why I'm really excited to see Chalice in the offlane. But in all seriousness, I'm just, I think he's one of those offlaners in a region that I think lacks playmaking offlaners or like stars in the offlane. He really does a great job. Stun comes in onto Chalice, couple of shots through from Shylock.
They're very limited how much lockdown they have to keep him, in place so that DB can deal the damage. But to go back to your talk about Chalice, I still remember seeing the first game. Alright, I'll hold that talk.
Yeah, there it is. There's the telekinesis as well as the spear. Shylock in trouble. Fade Bolt, last hit for Fade. They get the kill onto the TV. And that's the combo. And you need to be really careful. How many times that happened to TV before he leaves the lane?
He'll try a couple more times, see how it's gonna go.
Mid, XM. Now getting chased by both Yan as well as Dust. Coming over as Xnova to try and help him out to get out of this alive.
Fluffy hat, keeping him alive. That's the most weird looking item in Dota right now. It feels like it doesn't belong in Dota. It's like we took it from another game and just put it in.
Looks very RuneScape.
Yeah. To go back to the Chalice talk, I remember when he joined LGD, like his first appearance, I believe I was casting that game. He went 0-11 Enchantress. I was like, man, maybe they made a mistake, just getting this guy, but I was wrong. Like, Chalice, definitely one of my favorite players to watch.
And he's a very exciting offlaner. And I think he got a lot of flack when they lost Ame on LGD, went to Chalice in the safe lane. He's, filling big shoes in that role, going to the 1 position. And people were just continually saying, like, he's not as good as Ame. It's not a 1 position, but, he did carry in the beginning of his career. So he did have that experience. He played for Max Y, but he's best suited in the offlane. Like, he's so much better in the offlane.
Yeah, it just feels like that's his lane. So TB, level 4, Nyx Assassin, went to pick up a rune, has no mana, level 2. TB needs to be careful. Like, one more misstep, he's dead. There's no counterplay, because Nyx Assassin is out of mana, will have Impale. Also, that's a position 5 Nyx Assassin, who has a mana burn, which is really not that effective level 1. Like, it's 28-second cooldown spell. So he just did that, and now he's like, what do I do next? Or like, what's my job? You can't really just set up things with Nyx Assassin position 5. It's kind of hard. Like, you need levels. It's a very greedy pick.
Would have preferred it in the 4.
For sure, yeah.
Dragon Tail, telekinesis into the Fortunes, and Sonic Wave pushing back X-Nova. They'll use the tag team, try to get the kill there. Two-man impale. Kaz trying to get something done, but XM, he's so tanky.
Fake hype, Nyx. Nothing happened. Like, he just ravaged them, but it's no damage. It's 1.4 second stun. And you also stunned a Dragonite. So Dragonite, not the hero that really cares too much about this like chip damage that you're dealing to him. I believe that's Falcon Blade on Dragonite, which I really like. Some of the heroes really benefit from this type of an item, where like you need mana. It also gives a bit of damage, especially with the mana burn from Nyx Assassin, and like you want to keep spamming the spells with the Dragonite, like Breathe Fire, just increase your farm.
So already a 1K lead. DK's having a good time. They're gonna go and move over to try and take this OBS. XM's aware of this, but Dust ends up killing the OBS anyway. No way to deny that one.
Seems like someone typed all mid, guys, before this game started. And we see, like, look at the, we have, what, 4, 5, 6 heroes on a mid lane, a couple of illusions on top of that.
It's time for a party mid. Not everybody gets the invite, but if you're
everything is cool. If everybody's social distancing, then we're fine.
Chalice coming over. Dust is here. Telekinesis. There's the arena. They'll land the spear on the arena. Purifying Flames with the Fortune's and God's Rebuke. One last shot from Fade to finish off Dust. They also take out Kaz. MagMa showed up to the fight. They'll shard block to survive, but that is a poor fight for MagMa. And a good rotation from Chalice.
Mars is almost level 7, 8 minutes in. That's pretty insane. Phase Boots, Bracer, and the bottle. Now they're going to start dealing some damage to the tier 1 tower on a mid with the second Elder Dragon form.
I don't think MagMa realized his courier was coming across mid after he TP'd bottom. Loses that courier. Pretty unfortunate for him, as that is holding something good for him. Stun on the Chalice.
All mid again.
And they're going, yeah, one more time. Centaur's here. He's rooted up. TZY, able to escape. The spear doesn't latch on any of these trees. XM still putting the pressure on. Chalice staying nearby. He does have a bottle to sip on if he wants to come through and maybe wait the 20 seconds to get an arena down. But they'll get the tower, they'll back off, head towards bottom. At least Chalice was for a moment, going into the early Blink Dagger after these phase boots.
So this opens up the map for them, where they can invade TB's jungle much easier, and with the next Elder Dragon form, they can also start putting pressure on the bottom tower.
Yeah, man, the only one down here for now. As you can see, Shylock has been forced into the jungle. Just farming the triangle, trying to get something out of this. His lane didn't go amazingly well, but he's sitting top of the net worth. He's in a good spot.
Yeah, so far, so good. Like, look at Dragonite. I mean, Falcon Blade also gives him a bit of a tankiness with the Power Tread Strength, Wand, Bracer. I'm not sure how they can kill him. Nyx Assassin needs to be level 6 so that he can break him. Tag team plus Queen of Pain, Sonic Wave, and multiple right clicks. So, like, this Dragonite was actually a really good pick, because they did not want to pick any, like, intelligence hero that's just gonna get destroyed. Like, Lashrak would have been really fine if there was no Nyx Assassin, because you just kill yourself on a carapace and mana burn, but against, like, all these heroes, it would have been really nice. So they just go with the someone who's super tanky, hard to bring down, Dragonite, and what I just mentioned. Elder Dragon form, rotate to the bottom lane. Pretty simple stuff. Like, when you have these type of heroes, like, have this clear goal in the game, it's so much easier to play.
Plan is outlined pretty early on when you're playing someone like DK, right? MagMa actually losing that courier again, holding even more items this time for him. Pretty sure it had the arcane ring. He is not having a fun time with that courier. They're trying to take this tier 1 tower over towards top. You've got Kaz at level 6. The arena's committed. And now the snowball is coming through on a Chalice. They've got Dust over here as well. They'll hit the Vendetta, the Telekinesis, dropping him down right on top of the Nyx Assassin. One last shot from Shylock to get Fade, and then they will find Chalice. They've got the hoof stomp, they have the control, and they'll get the kill. It is everybody up here for MagMa to get that done.
They got the tower, they got the 2 kills, so not too bad for MagMa. And the thing is, I feel like they're bringing a lot of... They could have done that with, let's say, 4 heroes, while 1 hero is getting some XP and farm on the other side of the map.
Seemed like a big commitment, and you're also allowing Troll to just farm away. He's
Radiant's middle tower is
necessarily
under attack.
very close to this Battle Fury, but he's getting there.
Something that we talked about in the previous series, Troll item build. I'm glad that the Troll in the previous series decided to get like Yasha BKB because there weren't too many good spells to dispel, but this is the kind of standard stuff on Troll, where you want to get Battle Fury for farming, some damage, and then you get Aghanim Scepter, so you can like dispel a lot of things and dispel the enemies. Like you can get rid of Shadow Strike, you can get rid of Reflection, which is a pretty big deal in a team fight, and you kind of become, I'd say, unkillable, especially if Oracle's sitting here.
Yeah, you've got the Dispel for yourself and the save from the Oracle. It almost feels like one of those, like, we're talking about how does DK die, but then you've got 2 heroes potentially. How does Troll, how does DK die?
They're so
feels
beefy.
like a struggle.
Like these 2 big tanky boys plus a Troll, it's gonna be very hard to bring down, especially if Rubik also steals some defensive tool, like either a Stampede, Carapace, maybe a Snowball.
So Yan finally getting those phase boots. His courier died twice, slowing that down. Picks up the Arcane Ring. He's going at least queued for right now. Blink and X.
He is, you know, pretty, I would say, you know, trying to play this game for another 40 minutes, because remember, he is position 4 here, so he will get the farm priority over next assassin. Still, it's a long run.
Going to be tough for him to finish those those items. He's kind of close to the Blink Dagger.
I love the Aghanims on Tusk, because you can just kick out these 2 beefy boys. Even Troll, like Troll uses ulti, you kick him out of the fight, like whole duration is gone. It's a really good item to get here, for sure. But the question is, how do you farm it?
Especially if you want Blink beforehand. Seems like a tough one to kind of get to afterwards, especially if your team's not really splitting up too much. It seems like they're playing as 3, 4, 5 constantly. So where are you going to get that farm? Are you given the opportunity to do so? Dragon Tail comes through onto Kaz. They've got the Telekinesis with the God's Rebuke. 3-man Impale doesn't matter though. He still loses his life. Xnova's the one who gets credit for it. Over
MagMa's
top.
Totally fine with that. It's just position 5 for Smoke.
Yeah. Well, it might be one more. Searching for Yan, getting through the trees. Spear from Chalice lands. And they will find yet another. Well, this time Xnova having the double kill. That's
Radiant's top tower
very Oracle of you.
Just 4 and 5. Like, I think we need to stop using the word just once you lose more than 1 hero and a tower. So kind of a big deal in terms of net worth. Still pretty even game, but EHOME leading 6 kills. These were mostly just laning stage kills, so it really doesn't matter that much. DK with a Blink Dagger right now, so we can see like how they're talking this about like the itemization. You can't just get like 2 blanks. If Mars gets another blank, it's kind of investing too much gold into initiation, so he'd rather just get like either a BKB, which he's going for, or a Yule Scepter. But with the BKB, they have I don't think Mars should be afraid of too many spells. Yeah, there's Sonic Wave, there's Walrus Punch, but he's tanky enough to survive through that.
So all this for EHOME is going okay. They're getting a couple of pickoffs here and there on supports. It's left the TV to just be on his own. He's got an SNY, he's going into the Scotty, he's sitting top of the net worth. He's having a great time, considering how it felt like his lane was on ice.
TB just silently farming, died once in the lane stage, thought they might get a couple of more kills. But yeah, he went back to the jungle and is on top of net worth.
Smoke breaks, snowball in as well as the post on. They've got the false promise to keep alive the Mars. Breathe Fire hits all three heroes. Fortune's End locks up the Tusk as well as the Nyx. Really well done. Dust coming from behind them. Looking to throw the Sonic Wave onto X-Nova, but never gets it off onto the Oracle. Instead, throws it onto Chalice. They kill off the Mars. They'll lose Dust, though, in return. Now they're going after Shylock. They've got the control, the stolen Sonic Wave from Fade. They kill TZY, they get Shylock, but not before they lose Ajin. It's a full team wipe for EHOME, however.
XctN, mega kill. He's involved in 13 out of 13 kills. Not too bad for a position 5 Oracle, I would say.
Yeah.
It's tough for them to take a fight. Like, they went on a Mars, good false promise just to keep him alive with the arena. Troll still a bit squishy at the moment. He's not getting the Ags. He's going for a different route. I see Yasha into BKB.
And then Mars going to finish that BKB. He's going Deso, so a couple different things here and there. I like it.
It's just damage. Like, Troll right now doesn't deal that much damage. And Dragonite, they have initiation. He's level 13. Yeah, just a recipe off from his full BKB. I think EHOME is in full control of this game. They still have tier 1 tower on a mid lane that they can easily defend. Just BKB on Mars right now feels pretty scary to fight into.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got that BKB shipping out, and then as well as that, DK's almost got his own BKB. XM just under 1,000 gold away from it, or just over 1,000 gold away from it. As Blink Dagger, Falcon's Blade, BKB sitting pretty at just about the same amount of net worth as his Troll.
Surprised that Dragonite didn't go for other talent on level 10, because you get the mana regen from the Falcon Blade, so you can't afford to get the Breathe Fire damage reduction. It's so good against the TB and the Illusions.
Get the kill on Fade. I believe he bought out on the Blink Dagger before he died.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Trying to get that Quicksilver amulet over to the Troll before he leaves. I was wondering why Fade's courier was going towards the Troll, but he's just trying to deliver a neutral item in time. Was almost all for naught as he started a TP, and it's like a half second before the Troll was out of there, putting his courier at risk. TB, though, still top of the net worth, just the point booster away from the Scotty. Shylock's having a great time.
He died in the previous fight, but got the 2 kills and just keeps farming the jungle, gets the priority. No one's touching it. He's out pushing the waves with the illusion. So far, so good from TB. Also, like Rubik, one thing that you can do with Rubik right now is not necessarily go for Ether Lens. Like, you can just get Mana Boots and the Blink Dagger, and Arcane Supremacy gives cast range. It's a free Ether Lens once it's maxed out, so you can kind of skip it and go back to it a bit later. He's also skipping a talent because he wants other stuff maxed out.
They find Kaz, but will they be able to get the kill yet? Once he uses that Vendetta, throws the stun in, Chalice will get credit for the kill on Kaz, and they immediately smoke afterwards.
Roche is being pinged out, but they also want to get one more kill because it's only a next 5.
Arena around Shylock. Immediately the TPs come from MagMa. The question is, will they be in time? TZY, Blink, close stomps underused, but Shylock's still low. False Promise coming in and getting the save once again for Chalice. They take out TZY. They will look over at MagMa, take a second. They do get the TB out of that one, so there is that.
TB got the Sunder off just to keep himself alive, and Dragonite has Arcane Rune. Will pop that Dragon form probably just to keep farming up with it after they finish off the Roche. Roche is being pinged out by a Centaur, but I don't think they can do too much about it.
Just hitting so fast. The Quicksilver Amulet really makes Troll look ridiculous early. Just with the attack animation speed.
I kind of feel, I might be wrong here, maybe because I'm not playing like carry. Usually I play 3, 4, 5, so I don't get too much use out of Quicksilver Amulet, but feel like, I'm not gonna say one of the worst, but definitely not the best tier 2 item that is out there.
What's the tier list for you? Like, what's the best?
I mean, we can
tier
have
2?
a full podcast about this. You know, I could talk about the items whole day. Some people rate it differently, but I might be wrong here. I need to see more usage of a Quicksilver Amulet, because like you don't get the benefit from like extra movement speed and attack speed on this hero. Because like Berserker's Rage doesn't count, you have a passive, so it's really not that great.
Good hoof stomp out into both the Troll as well as Rubik. They hit the spear on a cast. They'll take out this Nyx immediately. Sonic Wave was thrown by the Rubik. Gonna be saved here by the Oracle. So Fade surviving for now with a BKB being popped by Chalice. They get the kill on a Shylock. They take out the Terribly. They'll look over towards the rest. TZY, Mian, Kazu bought back, all trying to stay alive, but they land the hoof stomp. Now the Impale on the 2, Fable thrown, steals the hoof stomp, blinks on top of him, and stuns him up again. TZY, you're not getting away when Fade has anything to say about it. That Blink Dagger serving wonders for the Rubik. And now a 6k lead for EHOME. This fight ends on the Radiant side, so it's right next to the tier 2. They can take it.
EHOME is so tanky right now with the like Dragon Knight, Troll, and Mars. Having good 2000 HP on every single hero. And they even have a 3 Blink Dagger, so they can choose when and how to initiate into a team fight. Dragon Knight, he keeps farming. Like, he's up there almost as farmed as TB, which is pretty insane. Like, I remember the couple of games in EU when Baronia played Dragon Knight. Like, I was not convinced that this hero can keep up with some like top tier carries. Like sometimes he was even keeping up when the enemy team had mag +1, which is pretty insane.
Wow. So in the BKB next for Shylock. He's farming well, but the last few fights, I guess excluding the one by the triangle, they've been able to handle the TB. He died that one time in lane, and then those last 2 subsequent fights, 5v5, EHOME have controlled and killed off this Terrorblade. So he's got top net worth, but is he doing enough with it? Is this BKB going to change that for him?
At least he's going to be able to stand his ground and actually hit people. Because right now he can't. He's super tanky, has 36 armor at the moment, like almost 3000 HP when he uses the strength threads. But still, there's a ton of stuns, a lot of control from EHOME with Arena, Spear. Like Rubik has a stolen hoof stomp, that's 2.6 seconds duration, amplified by 20%. That goes over 3 seconds.
I think it's like 3.1 something. I'm from NA. My math is never good. Doesn't check out.
We don't have to go into specific details. I was listening to Kyle yesterday where he says something along those lines where like, yeah, I liked English. I never liked science and math because there's like one answer, but in English you can, you know, say like some imaginary stuff, and I'm kind of with Kyle there. But we were both KEKWs, so, you know, trying to find our own place in the world without knowing too much.
Certainly have slotted in. You've gotten there. Full man, full team smoke coming in from EHOME. Heading towards top. They might run into this TB. That would be the best option for them. Oh, Shylock runs right through to EHOME. A special delivery for them and an easy kill nonetheless. XM getting that one in a 5-man smoke that goes really well for EHOME. Got exactly what they wanted.
Dire's
Steals the
top
Conjure
tower is
Image.
under
They move
attack.
towards the tier 3. It's another kill that happens on the Radiant side that allows EHOME
Radiant's middle
to
tower
work with
is
this
under attack.
respawn time and
Radiant structures
go for
are
buildings, take these
fortified.
objectives.
Aegis regeneration kicked in. Chalice,
Dire's top tower is
just
under
the
attack.
full defensive mode,
Are
tanking
fortified.
things up with the purifying
Radiant's middle
flames.
tower has
I'm not
fallen.
sure they're gonna take this fight. DB still dead, needs 300 gold to finish his BKB,
Radiant's middle barracks
and
has fallen.
clean in and out.
Seems like you try to avoid them at all costs. However,
Top tower is under attack.
TZY goes down up top. It's another
Dire's
kill for
top
EHOME. They're
tower
finding
has
these
been
pickoffs and really just anybody who is in the TV at the moment isn't finding a lot of net worth. Like, Quap is close, but compared to the DK, it's a 3,000 net worth lead for him.
It's still a quap, you know. At least in this game, she does not have like the clear target to go for. Yeah, you would want to kill Oracle for sure, but like, you deal a certain amount of damage in a team fight, and that's it. But Mars with the BKB, Dragonite with the BKB, Troll also has one. These are 9 or 10 second BKBs, so it's very hard for like Quap. At least she has a BKB for herself, you know, so she can jump in, get out of the fight in and out a couple of times, but it's gonna be very hard for her to just deal that damage, because I'm afraid they don't have enough. It feels like it's more than 8k gold lead for EHOME, for sure. And the DK finished the full AC. I don't think they're stopped. Roach may respawn in a minute, even if they take one bad fight and it's not an instant spawn. They can still, you know, buy back and take a fight, even if it's a fast spawn. So they're just gonna take a tier 2 tower. Outpost already taken.
Just completing the game plan right now for EHOME. Move around the map, take this objective, check on Roche, smoke, move around. Like, their movements have been catching MagMa every single time. Especially that troll, or the Terrorblade that just walked up on him. Like, they knew exactly where he wanted to be. They were right there ready. Their vision's been great. Their movements have been more than stellar. EHOME's playing really well. And they're playing really well with Ajit. Something that I was a little concerned about coming into this, considering the fact that he came in last minute. They're still going for Kaz, God's Rebuke, Impale lands, only hitting Fade. And eventually one more shot from Chalice to finish off this Nyx Assassin.
It's an X5. Like, he needs to make stuff happen, try to delay the game, give TB maybe another item possibly. BKB is done. I see Daedalus. Like, he's going all in with the damage. They smoked. Try to even go for maybe a sneak in to Roche Pit, steal it from the enemy team, but it's not up for 50 seconds. Dragonite, oh, top
They're gonna
target.
spot XM, he pops the BKB, Chalice comes through, the spear lands and latches dust to the back of the Roche Pit. BKB's been popped by Shylock, it's actually been popped by everybody, and the chase is on from EHOME now. They're trying to focus Shylock as he's running away in the meta
The
form.
range bash.
And now they've got the Sunder, but everybody's here. They kill off X-Nova, it's not gonna matter. Look at Ajit, how quickly he hits this TB dead. Dead for 51 seconds, no buyback. EHOME with another victorious fight.
Feels rough for MagMa. Like, they managed to bring down Oracle, who didn't have time to cast the False Promise, but DB, he doesn't deal damage. Most of the time, in the last few fights, he's either straight up dead or is just running away, trying to save himself.
Dust. Chased and caught, killed. Another quick one for EHOME. They have found plenty of pickoffs. Where is X-Nova's? He's only been a part of 18. He was what? 13 for 13. Now 18 for 25. The kill participation's fallen off a little bit, but he's still doing his
out
job.
there, he, you know, just not being involved in every single kill.
It's all or
As
nothing.
an Oracle, died once. Shame on him.
Their performance hindered. Kaz with Vendetta as well as the Impale. They've got the Hoof Stomp to follow it up. Fade. He gets comboed and killed. However, XM and Chalice will come through and take TZY's life. This is all while they're taking the Aegis. Ajit's in there by himself.
And this is a Centaur with a BKB after Vanguard and Blink, something that I don't remember seeing. Like in certain situation when it's very specific, later on you might get a BKB, but I don't think it does much here. You know, it's a 4,000 plus gold item, maybe trying to be able to get out of the arena, not get stunned by Dragonite. Yeah. You know, as a Centaur, you want to tank up your team, possibly like get maybe a disarm, have its halberd, loaded sword, whatever it's needed. This way, you're investing so much gold only for yourself.
So now back onto the high ground for EHOME. Take the tier 3. They're looking towards the racks. They find the spear, they get the kill onto Kaz. Walrus Punch comes through, down goes the arena. The side wave hits onto the DK as well as the Mars and Ajit. Snowball over, they'll take out Chalice. They look over as the Fable hits onto Mian Mian, takes his life. Shylock on the backlines, Blink, Hope Stomp, landing on the DK as well as the Troll, but they've wrapped around onto the Terrorblade. They'll look to get this kill. They'll take out Shylock. He is dead with no buyback. And they will call GG. EHOME will take game 1.
DB got a lot of farm. Like, he died once in the laning stage, but this last big Dragonite for EHOME did miracles for him. Like, they pressured the mid tower. We've seen, what, 5-6 heroes moving around the mid tower, but EHOME benefited a lot more from that. And then he rotates to the bottom lane, takes a tier 1 tower. I would say pretty clean execution from EHOME.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, at least in my mind, wondering if they were going to execute as cleanly. They're working with a new carry, but things still looked good. I will say, Shylock looked like he got the farm necessary to make something happen, but things really fell off for everybody else. There was a lot of time where MagMa spent playing as 5, moving around, and like there was 5 heroes towards top, and you brought it up. You said, you know, who's getting that experience and gold that's left around the rest of the map? And, you know, they kind of just ended up letting it go for free. And then you see, like, Troll's got a lot of farm, and everybody's up there ready to go. So EHOME take the game, and it was a pretty impressive win for their first game with Ajit. It looked really good. So we'll send it back to the panel, see what their thoughts are. We'll send it over to Nomad and crew. Back to you.
Thank you very much, good sirs. Yes, not the dream first game which MagMa were looking for, unfortunately, as they did end up getting a little bit dismantled. But, you know, some games it happens where you're playing the carry hero, you enter your first team fight, you destroy everybody, and then some games you're playing the carry hero, you get loads of farm, you walk into the first team fight, you get pinned to a wall, and everyone just beats the crap out of you guys. Not expected, but, you know, what really went wrong for MagMa this game in your guys' eyes?
I think someone was triggered in the green room watching the Terrorblade a little bit here and there.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can't even count how many times the Terrorblade, like, got caught out of position this game. Like, he was the top 1 net worth for the longest time, even when EHOME was dominating. And there's a lot of responsibility on him, obviously, but he got caught out at least 3 times in 3 different fights, and he just died first without, like, doing pretty much anything. And as I said before, this is a hard carry meta. If your hard carry is making these mistakes, you know, you just can't recover from that. Like, they put all the eggs in the basket. Even here you can see #1 net worth, but he just has no impact in these fights.
There was a couple of fights in which he just walks into the arena, like just as it's about to be formed, he strolls straight into it and dies. So some mistakes have been made. The laning stage, when you think about Team MagMa, top lane went decent. Like, Troll was shut down fairly well. Mid lane as well, Quap versus Dragonite isn't that easy for Quap. He did well. So 2 of their lanes went fairly well. Terrorblade lane was crushed a little bit. He struggled. The first meta usage also got punished and killed off. But yeah, it all came down to execution, in which EHOME, they were the tempo setters because of this Dragonite. And when you think about it, yeah, you have this break, but you don't care. You're there to initiate, start things off, and it's so difficult for Quap to deal with that level 1 2.5 second stun. Like, this hero, for me, okay, so let's talk about these teams that we see Quap on, like Boom, right? He plays that Quap, he goes in, but he never feeds. That's the thing. Like, Quap, you only have 1 or 2 deaths, and after that you fall off. And It was exactly that game. Everyone is so tanky on the side of EHOME as well, and if you feed once or twice, your game just becomes so difficult too.
Yeah, it really was, and there was just too much kind of damage on the board for Shylock. You know, the rest of his team never really kind of came online. Was also the issue there. You know, they didn't really bring a fight to EHOME when EHOME were just allowed to rampage around the map. You know, we did think that the TB was going to come back into this one. He wasn't really shut down. Do you think that's because EHOME didn't do a good job at invading an enemy jungle, or do you think they were just like, it's fine. They'll make a mistake. The Terror Blade won't be able to carry this game. You know, what was their thought process when they were in the mid game?
I feel like with the draft ahead, it's actually quite difficult to invade the triangle because there's like a Nyx assassin scouting around. There's a threat of the Blink Dagger on Centaur. There's Tusk who can potentially turn it around, and you get like a Sunder kill. You know, just like in this patch and this map configuration especially, going to the enemy triangle high ground, even with a smoke, can oftentimes just throw your entire advantage away.
Yeah.
And like as I said, in this game, TB was a really good hero. And I thought he was going to have, you know, a lot more impact with the farm that he had, because he farmed really well. Like his laning was iffy, but he was top 1 net worth by like 2 or 3k at some point, even though his team was getting crushed. And I feel like he definitely had the opportunity to carry his team. It's more like, I don't know, maybe some nerfs or something, you know?
Maybe faster BKB maybe would have helped or something like that. What do you think? Like, because he was not able to deal damage in these teamfights too.
Yeah.
Well, it's not going to be much of a surprise, I don't think, to people that our MVP for this match is, in fact, Chalice, playing on that Mars. You know, this guy was making the plays. He was right up in their faces, throwing down those arenas, causing all sorts of issues for the side of MagMa. He had an absolute stonker of a game, and it was really hard to play into. I mean, when heroes like players like Chalice are playing this Mars hero, they just make him look broken.
He had
looks really strong.
Desolator. He didn't even go for initiation items. He doesn't care. He just bonks you with Desolator, and that's it. So
his item build was really good. He went BKB into Deso because he knows the Dragon Knight is already the initiation for them. You don't need 2 Blink Daggers, you know?
So that's something that we discussed during their drafts. We weren't really sure about this duo and how it's going to work, because they both do the same thing, but they itemized so that they both managed to do the same thing, but it's good, right? They're killing them. You have the Blink Orchid afterwards on Dragon Knight. On him you have the Desolator too. So it's a lot of damage plus initiation and control that they're bringing.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was really nice. There was one point in the game where he was chasing that Nyx where I just felt sorry for Chalice, because, you know, that Nyx assassin, he's just such an annoying hero, and he like dropped the arena, missed it, had to drop the BKB. Like, they did actually get the kill in the end, but I was just like, man, this kind of sums up Nyx, you know? Even in the game where your team's so far behind, this hero is still like costing you so many resources just to kill. I mean, that hero is pretty crazy, but yeah, not crazy enough to win them game 1, unfortunately, Team MagMa. Are we expecting in game 2 for them to kind of follow the same format and keep on picking these heroes which they feel work for them, even though it's been beaten once? Or do you think they're going to start trying something new, or something, you know, that they've practiced but haven't shown in competitive games yet?
I would like them to keep the same pattern, but maybe pick a mid hero that's less punishable. So I want the same flashy style, but less punishability, let's put it that way. So your Void Spirits, your Ember Spirits, something that gets in and out easily and creates chaos on the map. For me, the problem with Quap in this game was she goes in, lift or stun from Dragon Knight, and she's gone every single time. And that's just such an easy execution coming from EHOME.
Yeah, as I said, I don't think it's a draft issue. They just got outplayed by EHOME. They even did well on 2 lanes, you know?
Yeah, and exactly.
Yeah, like, they're definitely not outskilled, but, you know, first big tournament for a lot of these players, so there's maybe some nerves involved, but the draft was pretty good. You just got to make sure that you refine your play a little bit. Like, you find those better team fights, better positioning, and yeah.
Alrighty, well, that's going to put an end to the first game. Unfortunately, not the game number 1 we were looking for here from these two teams, as EHOME just come out the blocks running, and Team MagMa weren't able to stop them or catch them. But hopefully, we're going to have a slightly closer game number 2. We'll see what both of these teams bring to the table after this short break. Hello and welcome back to the DPC Chinese region, where we are into the second series of the day. And this one is looking, well, kind of just as convincing as the first one, unfortunately. It's looking pretty salty. So, game number one. They didn't look too fresh, unfortunately, but MagMa, you know, they can rinse off the old socks, give them an old squeeze out, get that sweat out, and hopefully bring something new to the table for game number 2. Guys, you're looking sad. What's wrong? We can't
Sad?
cuddle, unfortunately.
We're happy, man. What are you talking
We're
about?
happy.
Man, yeah.
This is my happy face. This is his happy face.
Yeah. When we smile, that means something extraordinary happens.
Exactly.
I never smile.
I'm not like him.
I'm just confused, but you know what? Let's get into this one. We don't have to look at you guys anymore. We can look at these lovely Chinese players instead, as the guys from EHOME get drafting into the second game. And yeah, there's some concentrated faces here as they think about their picks and their bans, but I imagine it's going to be pretty similar to what we saw in game at number 1. Most teams seem to have figured out their bans already. Everyone's just like, nah, I don't want to play against OD, I don't want to play against XctN or whatever.
There's a big difference in this series and the last one, in which EHOME is banning out some of the heroes that MagMa plays, but not those main ones that you see reoccurring in every single draft that they have. While Vici Gaming versus LBZS, they just banned out 4 carries that they play, like, straight up in 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what MagMa has to offer this game. Honestly, though, I really think, like as I said before, the draft isn't the issue. They just need to polish their gameplay. And with the Mars first pick.
It feels like, okay, this guy crushed us, let's steal it away.
And crush them.
Well, yeah, let's try that Blink Dazzle BKB. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like that Mars in last game had a spot there, and you felt why he was picked. Mars and Ruby Lane is incredible. Then you're playing Mars versus Terrorblade, which is also nice. Here you're just picking Mars, and instantly there's an Undying. Like, instant pick from EHOME.
Already not a good game for Mars. It's going to be difficult. I mean, he has an opportunity to go mid lane as well. We've seen that a couple of times. But you don't want to play Mars against Undying. One of the hardest matchups in the game. Even Tombstone, you don't really have any way of killing it.
At least now you have 2 melee strength heroes.
No,
versus
good.
the Undying.
That will show that Undying.
Can't steal all of it. Morphling.
Ooh,
That
interesting.
Looks like an incredibly easy morph lane.
Yeah, and you've already got yourself like a ton of synergies here between these 2 heroes. You know, if the Morphling does want to go Ags at any point, playing Undying often a very good move when you're against big strength heroes, which they've already got 2 of, so.
Yeah, you have the 2 Tombstones as well to work with, which is really nice. You don't really counter the Ember pick, but it becomes a little bit scarier to pick some of these spirits versus Morphling too, because it's so easy for him to do everything they do, but better and against them. But yeah, we'll see. Also, I think one of the reasons why Morphling is picked here is the first ban of Team MagMa. Actually, both bans, OD and Ancient Apparition, just obliterate this hero, right? Like, that pure damage. Like, long time ago, OD was a counter to Morphling, right? Like, you would pick it versus Morphling.
I mean, he was even like last patch still.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, probably this patch he still is, because he still deals a ton of pure damage.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's very strong versus Morphling.
And you don't have like the biggest mana pool, so the ult hurts a lot. Yeah, definitely one of the better matchups.
I wonder if they'll play it mid lane or it will be just safe. I think on safe lane it's just completely fine versus Tusk and...
You mean Morph?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unless they pick like an Ember mid or like a Void Spirit, because Morphling crushes both of those.
Yeah. No reason not to.
Yep.
Beastmaster banned out by Team MagMa and Earthshaker. We have seen Earthshaker today in the previous series already. Also, there's that old combo like with the Night Stalker that we talked about previously. It's the same patch with Morphling Shaker. It's not as strong right now, but it's still something that you might have to worry about.
I think we've only started to see what Morphling can do, actually. I think there's a lot more potential to Morphling this patch than people realize. Because obviously with the Shard, you also copy their Shard abilities, right? Or is that just Rubik?
Wait, what does the Shard of Morphling even do?
It gives
Double
him,
hit multi. Like the Adaptive Strike hits 2 targets, right?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, okay. I see.
And there's no cooldown between the Strength and Edgy one. You know, there's like the 3-second cooldown thing? Yeah. Which is, I don't know.
It's pretty like, why would you want to use Strength adaptive strike when
I
you're
mean, you can
on
cancel
Finatic,
TP, I guess, but
I think when you copy targets,
Comeback
you can
of the
take
offlane
shot, though.
Morphling. Offlane Morphling making a comeback. Morph all into strength level 1, be annoying. By
Just stun heroes like 4 seconds at the
Aetherlance
start of the
shard
game.
and just stun people.
it's
There
just,
you
it's
go.
just so hard to justify to buy shard on some of these heroes. Like 1400 gold for one more adaptive strike hit. Like, I'd rather buy a Ghost Scepter or something.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, these charts seem to come into the action later on in the game when they're on these big carry heroes sometimes. You know, it's just a nice thing to be able to get when you're 6 slotted. An extra way to make yourself stronger.
At Team MagMa, they just have to figure out the right carry now for themselves. Like Terrorblade, if it didn't work in the first game, this game it definitely won't work versus Morphling. Maybe that's not something that you should go for. Perhaps something like a PL would work for them. Really great versus the Tombstone versus
But banned out though.
They banned it.
Yeah.
Ah, damn it.
They thought the same thing.
Yep.
Counters both heroes, let's get out of it.
Yeah, let's get rid of it.
I think Anti-Mage could be really good too.
Okay.
Crushes both of those heroes as well. Depends on the matchup, of course, but they already banned out Beastmaster, which is one of the worst ones, as well as Night Stalker. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of
They might
AM.
be going, right? They might be going for AM.
Yeah, I don't know if he actually likes to play AM or not, the carry player. And
I haven't seen any AMs for them, but they are playing all these ultra carries. So also Lycan is still in the pool. That's something that they can go for. They have the Mars, so I don't think you care that much about Morphling as Lycan as well. Your tempo is just much faster.
until late game.
Yeah.
If he gets the 2 talents, waveform attacks target and double waveform, everything just dies. But until level 25.
Until then, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Earth Spirit.
This is.
There it is.
I think this is out of OG's copybook. Like they used
Oh,
to.
God,
they
yeah.
used to put Thompson mid with Morphling and then Earth Spirit position 4, and then you just morph into Earth Spirit, and you always every time you morph, you have all the stones.
Yeah.
So you can do whatever the hell you want.
Refreshes all the time.
And then like the cast range,
cast
is just
range as well.
insane. You're flying across the map. Like it's a super broken combo. It's gonna be interesting to see if they do it.
Okay, so this Elder Titan is their comfort zone. They've picked it before, but it's also old school counter to Morphling. That natural order obviously just dishes out with completely negates all his agility armor, all natural armor that comes to him.
It's a free anti-mage game.
Yeah.
Are they gonna do it?
By the way, in the qualifiers, Shylock played Ember Spirit, Arc Warden, Ursa, and Terrorblade were his heroes there.
Yep.
So
They played Lycan on mid lane
no
though as well.
anti-mage just yet, but I don't know about his longer statistics.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not like too familiar with the new players in China.
Like, what would you rather play?
I mean, in this game, I think right now it's a pretty free anti-mage game.
Yeah.
Because wherever the bad rider goes, the AM can go too. You know, like if they decide to put bad mid, you can just put AM mid. It's like the matchup is just so easy, and as I said, AM crushes Undying as well as Morphling. The only thing they have now is what, like a stun from the Earth Spirit, which is even a skill shot.
That's silence, perhaps. I guess there you go. They go with the
Yeah, it's a
Lycan instead.
Lycan, yeah. I mean, Lycan, you know, can't go wrong with that hero.
So they did put it mid the last time, I think.
Yeah.
And now you have this option of putting Bat against him. I suppose Bat should do fine. Like,
Yeah. Especially the new Lycan where you don't have cripple until level 7.
yeah. You have those Invis pesky wolves now on level 3, right? And then you get triple on level 4.
Yeah.
So Batrider should do fairly well there, but it is a Lycan. So what does he do? He goes to the jungle. He buys himself a Quelling Blade and just farms along with those wolves.
Yeah, I would love to just see a hard carry with this, to be honest. The 4 heroes they have right now, they can make all the space in the world. If they do pick like a hard carry like an anti-mage, you know, he will be really happy this game. What else is there? PA, not that good against Morph. PL is banned.
I mean, you have something like a Slark as well that's
Slark is decent.
decent versus Morph, decent versus Bat.
It's a bit scary against Morph, because you can get blown up with that E-Blade, but other than that, it's good. Yeah, I mean, I guess I do have some options. I would just like them to pick a carry that can actually make space.
We have Jug as well, perhaps. That's an option. It's not necessarily that hard carry. I mean, he is hard carry, but he can also bring some utility to these early pushes, like with the healing ward, with everything that he brings to the game.
EHOME's draft looks interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, for me it comes down to what they're doing with this Morphling. Is it a conventional Morphling or is it an Aghanims Morphling? If it's an Aghs Morphling, then you've got so much fun to play with the Spirit and even the Undying in certain situations.
I feel like, isn't Undying Morph just like the best thing you can ever do? Like you just get this 10 strength steal every time.
I think I'd still go with the Earth Spirit.
Still
There's
Earth Spirit?
so much mobility. Like the outplay potential from these two heroes is just way too high. Like, yeah, you can have that 4-second decay, or you can just be zooming in and out and blowing up people with.
Nashrock. So it's a carry like, so they go all in on the push.
Yep, they're committed to it. They want to play aggressive. Team MagMa, they're bored of playing games. They want to come at EHOME with everything they've got and try and overwhelm them. Overwhelm the Morphling, who's going to be perhaps playing a little bit slower. Will they be able to do it? Well, it depends a lot on EHOME's last pick here. What avenue do they want to go down? They need to build themselves a wall. What are you thinking?
Oh, Tidehunter's banned. Underlord is banned too.
When you think about heroes that deal with Lycan right now, there aren't many left. There's like Kunkka, right, with the setup.
Kunkka is
and the
pretty good.
contain.
Yeah.
Kunkka would be decent. Besides that, I don't see many other options really. There's Ricky maybe that we talked about.
Now against Lycan is it works if you're like a hard carry and you get fast battlefield everything.
Yeah.
But
If you just get attacked, like you destroy all of his summons with one spell, but and you don't take damage, which is nice. But it's too greedy.
what else is there for mid against the Lash as well? I mean, they could potentially pull off something like a Quap. Could work. Just go in the damage department, because Quap Earth Spirit can destroy Lashrock really hard. Those rotations.
How does a TA with Sideblades do in lane versus the Lycan if he's mid? Or is it definitely going to be Lashrock mid?
I'm pretty sure it's Lashrock mid.
Okay.
Yeah, they do go for the Pangle here.
Pangle.
Pango.
I mean, that hero deals well with Lycan.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Lane against Lash is decent. Like it's like a 5-5 lane.
So they're putting off lane Pango, mid lane Batrider, and
it's
Safe
off lane
Morphling.
Pango.
Yeah, that's how it looks like by player names.
Yeah.
Will they switch it up still? That's obviously an option that they have got going for them. But
I think I like that actually. Batrider, Earth Spirit can dominate a Lashrock.
yeah,
Yeah, and then you have the Pango off lane, who just kills the wolves with like one swashbuckle. And I think it's a pretty good setup actually.
yeah, brings a lot of utility to the team as well. This Pango looks like a pretty decent pickup, but if their lanes don't go well, this is a very aggressive lineup for the underdogs again, and I think that this one can work. Like last game, they really didn't perform properly, but it's very difficult to not execute this draft properly. You have a Lycan, you have a Lash. Pop that ulti, run at them. That's it.
I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but just based on the form I've seen last game, I can't, go for MagMa. I have to go for EHOME simply just because they seemed so uncomfortable last game, So we'll see if they can shake it off. I hope they can, but just based on last game, I'm going to go with EHOME.
Alrighty, Black going EHOME.
Yeah,
Blizzard.
I'm going with EHOME as well. I like the draft of MagMa, but after the first game, you just can't go against EHOME.
Oh, it's hard, but I feel like this game is slightly less kind of Shylock focused, and he kind of had a bit of a questionable game last game, but now that it's kind of more a team effort, I don't know, I think this might be what they need to bring them together. I'm going to put it out on the line once again and go for MagMa against perhaps the better judgment, but I'd love to hear what our casters thought of this game number 2, so I'm going to send it across to Bcop and Lacoste.
Thank you very much. Nomad, he's going with MagMa. Are you agreeing here? Are you going to go with him on the MagMa team?
I like what they have. They are trying something different in this game where, they are going a bit of all in on the push. It's still, a lineup that can scale. I don't think they can take it like super late game with this type of lineup. We're talking about like 40, 45 minutes plus. But you can't really make too many mistakes. Like Lycan is a strong hero. He will punish you. Combined with the Lashrack, there's a ton of like team fight, tower pressure. If they come up the laning stage, I'd say even, still favoring MagMa, but to go back to the talk to the point where Black said he's not convinced because they don't feel comfortable. I'm having that same feeling, but it's only one game. I've seen some of their games, and I know they can play better than what they did in game number 1.
Yeah, it definitely seems like they're going to have to play better than what they did in game number 1. Obviously, there's nowhere to go but up.
Exactly. I mean, it's not like they hit the rock bottom. DPC League just started, but yeah, the showing in game number 1 was not that great. So they can definitely do better than this. One thing I'm worried about is them having 1, 2, 3, 4 melee heroes into Batrider, into Pangolier, like Undying, Tombstone. It's tough. I want to see what kind of build Morphling will go this time, because Axe seems like a really good idea. Whether you turn into like Earth Spirit, Tombstone also looks really, really good. Double Tombstone, because they don't have like the Tombstone hitters other than Lycan, and I don't think Lycan wants to, you know, just use his toolkit to kill the Tombstone or 2. But yeah, if this was an EU game, I would definitely say like Morphling's getting Aghanim Scepter, turning into Earth Spirit, but we'll see how this one goes.
For MagMa, if it ends up being the same situation as it was in the first game, where it's very top-heavy with their farm, is this a winnable situation in that, like, Lycan's going to be very farmed, or is it... They need to find a way to kind of share the wealth this time, right?
Yeah, you can't just concentrate everything around one hero, which they did in game 1. So it will be mid Lycan after all. Safe lane Lash. I think one thing they had to adjust is, like, Swashbuckle just kills wolves. You don't care too much about those, especially as you get the levels, also having the Disarm against them. But you could also be in trouble against the Batrider, because, like, you also don't care too much about these wolves. Also, I don't know why Batrider Cosmetic looks like he's having an Arcane Rune, kind of glowing purple. Am I silly?
A little purple. He's got the Aegis under him. Maybe that's doing it. I don't believe he's...
Yeah, I don't believe he has an Arcane Rune, that's for sure.
I don't think XM has a glitched cosmetic for this Batrider. But meanwhile, the Earth Spirit of Fade getting sent all the way back to base. We were talking about it while the panel was talking about their thoughts on the draft, how Batrider against the Leshrac would have been tougher for XM, where he's not able to dive the tower, right? He wouldn't have been able to be as aggressive.
Batrider wants to be able to, you know, dive in, maybe get the 2-3 tower shots at him, still getting a kill, and then getting out. Against the Leshrac, it's really tough, because like having 1 or 2 points in Edict just kind of nullifies that. It does not allow you to trade underneath the tower.
So does the Pango pick, which pushed the Lycan from safe to mid, does that then, like, that pick's not just to go against the Lycan, it also enables the Batrider by moving the Lycan mid, right?
Exactly, and like the bottom lane should be hard for Pangolier, because he's playing into ET and Leshrac, so every single time he gets close. Easy lane for Leshrac, I would say. Elder Titan doing a really good job just zoning them out, so for Leshrac it's just, you know, get the farm every single time they get close. Do a couple of right clicks, let's see what he decides to go for. Still keeping 2 points, whether he wants to go 2 points in Lightning Storm or just for Edict, and then now decides to put 2-0-1 build.
Interesting. So it's not exactly the easiest to land, like, the sweep with the Split Earth. You do have the slow, probably secures the sweep.
Oh, he might be in trouble. Earth Spirit, just waiting if Kaz wants to use like full combo, Astral into Echo Stomp to cancel it. But yeah, Chalice needs to be careful. Level 1 Swashbuckle. Can't use it really that aggressively. It's a 20-second cooldown ability, so you need to be very careful.
Yeah, level 1, not that great. And there's the sweep. The roll comes in from Fade. That should save Chalice. And it's just Fade throwing the body, hoping to save his offlaner.
If you think about it, like, that's why Fade has Boots of Speed. At the top lane.
Tombstone right before he dies. He might be giving up some gold here.
Denies.
Good deny by Ajit, making sure that it's not the kill and the Tombstone, because that feels really bad as an Undying.
Not sure why he has Tombstone at level 2. Like, usually you see Soul Rip, then another point in Soul Rip, especially with the Morphling in the lane, where you just kind of abusing his low HP pool, bringing him back to full HP with the Soul Rip.
Some of the Undyings in the Chinese region will see like 1-1-3 or 1-3-1. Like I'm pretty sure Innocent switches it up every game.
Yeah, because Undying is a boring hero to play, so you need to make him a bit fun. You kind of surprise yourself, like, what do I have right now? Okay, I have a Tombstone, let's play with that.
Got a kill on a Man. XM getting credit for that one. And that's just going to help boost him forward as he's 26-4 to the Lycans 19-3 currently. Oh, Man losing a courier yet again. Just this series alone, it's felt like he's lost 5
He
or
lost
6
5
couriers.
couriers, yeah, exactly. And the second game of the series just started.
Because he lost his courier like 2 or 3 times consecutively last game, and he just felt bad. All he wanted was his phase boots to get delivered. Unfortunately, that was a struggle. So yeah, this would be a great time. Maybe have that level in Soul Rip instead of the Tombstone.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for Undying right now. Needs to pull. It always feels like it's tough for Undying. I'm not a big fan of the hero. Let's see what he decides to get on level 3. Doesn't get anything, so surprises himself. He actually got the stats. He got the stats, +2.
He's gone back in time. He's taken stats. Very worth it. Value. A level 3. Swashbuckle forward onto Dust, doing quite a bit of damage. They'll look for the sleep. Tombstone committed. There's the roll.
There's the Soul Rip.
They've got the boulder smash. They'll get the kill on the Dust. They'll look over at Kaz. I'm not certain they want to dive this, but with 3 heroes, they can. So they'll go for Kaz. They'll look for a second.
Chalice.
Chalice with the Swashbuckle way off the mark, but the roll is there from Fade. They'll still stay on top of Kaz and get the second. That took a little longer than it needed to, but
no one wanted to TP, help him out. Leshrac was dead, so they kind of used that information and just went all in. Even Chalice, like, missing out on his Swashbuckle, they still get a kill.
I thought that might be the point where somebody TPs. Like, now he's pretty deep, you could TP in. And they're just leaving him to die. They'll bring back both. Dust is taking a lot of harassment. This Swashbuckle, now level 3. The Lucky Shot now level 2.
TPs are here. 1 minute later. But they TP'd.
Yeah, they've got 4 here for EHOME. And they're going to go Geomagnetic Rip with the Boulder Smash. They'll look for the kill on the Dust, getting chased down, lassoed up just in case. Snowball not there to save. They throw down the arena. TZY looking to get the trade on the XM will do so. Man pretty far back on the Fade as well as Chalice. X-Nova has Soul Rip available. And we'll use it on Fade
Wolf
as he's trying to run. Shylock coming in.
Fade, what a play.
Chalice just to give him some space. Fade looks for the TP. Now behind the tier 2 tower. Chalice still gets killed.
They still get a kill. I mean, he kicked him, but did not give him the pizza party treatment. So top lane will be pressured like MagMa. I said it in the earlier game where they just go 5-man strong, and they did exactly the same thing right now. Ajit might be in a bit of trouble, but you know, it's a morph, 3 points in attribute shift. Dust does not want to fully commit on him, try to land a stun because he already used the waveform. So yeah, 1k gold lead for MagMa, and I feel like it's time to start pushing some towers. Lycan has that Helm of the Dominator, which can be upgraded as well to Helm of the Dominator 2, and then you get the Ancients. That's a new one.
Is it worth?
I'd still prefer if you like get BKB, AC, Basher. Feels like a lot of a gold investment.
So it's just a luxury.
It's a 6,000 gold item. Yeah, compared to 2.3k Helm of the Dominator.
It's quite the upgrade cost. And over mid, they find the Lycan. They've got Lasso. Not sure they're going to be able to kill Shylock here, though. Flame Break pushing him back into the Rolling Thunder. It does work out for EHOME. Now the arena is down on Chalice as well as XctN. They spear up Chalice, they kill off XM, it's a 2-for-1 trade.
And these are two cores, like this is a mid laner and the off lane, so a lot of value coming out from that. Yeah, you killed Lycan, but EHOME plan is just, you know, try to delay the game as much as possible. Don't lose too much, don't lose towers early on, and yeah, I think they will be set for the fight like 15-20 minutes in. Just don't get rolled over, because this is one scary-looking lineup for MagMa.
Spear hits on the Chalice. Shylock going in with that ult. Look at this, Chalice just getting ripped apart. Morphs into the Mars. Spear pushes back TZY. They still get the kill on the Pango. He just got back alive, and now he's dead again.
I think Chalice needs to tone it down a bit. He's not as tanky as he thinks. He's also level 6. There was no Rolling Thunder. Might even need to switch up his item build. I see like Orb of Corrosion right now. And I see Maelstrom. Yeah, this is fine if you're playing well, if you're snowballing. But could be in a bit of an issue where you don't have anyone who's super tanky. You do not have a frontliner against the Lycan lineup.
So where do your answers lie? Like right now, Xnova, he was stacking, has that Ancient stack, and I believe 4 stacks, if I'm counting right. But, you know, he's trying to help out the team. They know that they're behind a little bit, and where do the answers come from? As top, hold on. Rolling Thunder comes through, that hits on the Dust. Is there any more follow-up to this? Doesn't look like it. Maybe they'll get Mian. Dust looking to turn back around because he's got some help from Kaz as well as TZY. Shards are on Chalice. He doesn't have Swashbuckle for 2 more seconds. And he's dead before it comes off cooldown. They drop down the Tombstone. They look over at Xnova. They land the sleep. They'll not only get his life, but they'll get the Tombstone as well. Big money going towards MagMa.
Okay, so this is their timing. Like, they need to go together, do stuff. Edict is maxed out, so a lot of easy tower push from MagMa. And if you see one member of MagMa, you probably should know that there's more there, because right now they're just holding hands.
Seems to be very indicative of their play style. Just 4 or 5 guys at all times, which hurt them in the first game, but I've been staying 3-4-5 for the majority of this one, and it's worked out quite a bit, at least for now.
If Dota was a 6-man team game, I'd probably say that MagMa would go 6-man strong and just do stuff together.
It would add a whole new dynamic to Dota. We were talking about the game being an evolving one.
No. I like Dota where it is right now. Beak-up, you need to stop. Someone might get an idea and actually add it to our game.
You can start differentiating yourself from other MOBAs. Add a 6th guy. Where does he lane? 2 heroes mid?
Oh, jungle.
You gotta, and then you gotta buff the jungle. I don't think he's gonna make it by himself. There's not enough gold economy for this.
There is, like, position 5 doesn't get, you know, much farm. So you have position 6, which is just jungle and stack.
Just wards. Yeah. Chalice again getting caught. Got him dead to rights once again. Oh. He is playing very sacrificial, but that's something he's done.
That's not sacrificial, that's straight up feeding.
I was trying to make it sound a little better.
Like, you know, if it happens once or twice, you can say space, universe created, whatever, but this one is straight up feeding the enemy with the golden XP.
Tombstone down, Walrus Punch hits, XM trying to run, won't be able to make the escape. They got the kill on the Kaz, but they end up trading 1-for-1, and should be a 2-for-1. Xnova latched onto that tree with a great spear from TZY. Dust with another double kill, 6-2 and 3 for the Leshrac.
4K gold lead for MagMa. They took, I'd say, only 2 towers, considering the lineup that they have. And Lycan keeps farming. Necro 2 about to be delivered on top of Helm of the Dominator will be level 2 Shapeshift to lower the cooldown on it. And it's going to be much easier to play. It's looking scary for EHOME.
Yeah, being behind this much already feels rough. But it's also, you're not including the Morphling. He's just looking to go for that Ghost Scepter. is there a point where it feels like they're too far behind? Like, are we already there? Is 5K too much for him to overcome? We've seen so many Morphling games, but it's different in each one, right? Where Ghost Scepter, when it comes online, where you can kind of make that comeback.
Yeah, just pop that Ghost Scepter, everyone runs away from you. Jokes aside, like, Morphling got buffed indirectly, where Eagle's Song cost went from 3K to 2.8. So that's, I'm not gonna say a big deal, but sometimes you need that 200 gold to join a fight. And this could be this type of a game, you know, where they group up, Necro 3 will be up soon. Just 200 gold away, so it could make a difference.
We'll say Xnova has done a phenomenal job stacking. The jungle is just constantly stacked, every camp. Not at this exact moment in the triangle, but that's because they just took those camps.
I mean, your hero has to be good at something, right? If it's not good at playing the game, if it's not good at ganking, it has to be good at stacking.
Radiant
I'm sensing that Undying might be your least favorite hero in the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just... I always did not like the hero. Always
Which is
felt
surprising,
very
there's a techies
boring.
in there.
Very boring hero to play. Don't listen to me.
Breaks.
Oh, good tombstone on the high ground.
It's given the vision, but they've got the arena down. The snowball will follow. They've got the air splitter to hit. XM dead. Swashbuckle through. Chalice are going to make something happen here now with the Morphling. Ajit comes in, turns into the Mars, throws the spear, hits off the shards, and now TZY will drop. They get the kill on the Mars. They're going to buy back on XM. Xnova looking to go through on a Dust, finding themselves a second potentially. He mules, but is it only extending the inevitable? Yes, it is. So Ajit with the double kill. 3 heroes on the side of MagMa. They get the kill on a Fade. Shylock takes him out. Waveform looking to try and help Xnova survive.
Dead.
He still can't live. The Wolves and the Necro Creeps are enough.
It's a buyback from Batrider. That's pretty big. I would call this an even fight. They lost 3, they killed 3. But the thing is, Morphling is not dying. And one like cool play that happened, like Tusk did use Ice Shards, so Pangalier's ulti will bounce off of that, you know, just keeping them away, which is pretty nice. We're gonna see that one more time. There's a replay snowball from Tusk, and look at the shards just completely blocking off the Pangolier.
Back over is Dust, killed off by Ajit, and it looks like they're gonna get a second Yan Yan to fall. Ajit with 2, now dominating. Morphling comes into the game, and he's got that E-Blade ready to go.
He's good to go, and they don't have the counterplay for that. Like, you can't be that fast with the snowball, because he just goes in and deletes one hero. Batrider needs that BKB. He needs to be able to survive through initial like bursts coming out from Arena, possibly Elder Titan Stomp. ET, man, he's going all in on damage. No points in natural order yet.
Yeah, interests. It might get even tougher for
My
you.
boy Fogged, if he's watching this, he would definitely not be happy. Like, it's a position 5 ET, so, you know, having Astral, 2 points is okay. More than 2 points is kind of investing so much on the damage. But you have Lash, you have Lycan. Natural order kind of sounds much better.
See if it ends up biting Kaz as the game moves on. You've almost got Batrider with BKB.
Can't bite you in the ass because you're position 5, you know? You just say, yeah, I did what I could. I bought my wards. This game's not on me.
So I'm going to say that in my pubs now. It's a certified
Feel free to
excuse.
quote me.
Rolling Thunder, Blink. I'm a massive fan of Blink on Pango. I love the disruption in fights that it gives with the Rolling
I said
Thunder.
he needs to adjust his item build, and he did. Like, Maelstrom is fine, you know, you deal with the Helm of the Dominator creep, with the Necros, with the Wolves. You also have some sick damage, another Tombstone on the high ground. They instantly fall back. There's no Rolling Thunder, so just back off.
Definitely keeps the fight stagnant for the moment. Radiant are bouncing around whether or not they want to go to the high ground and fight or go
I
for
think
Roche.
it's also fine for EHOME not to take this fight. Like, it's only 2k gold lead right now. Considering the lineup that MagMa has, I'd say it's a pretty even game. Even if they take Roche, EHOME's back on track, because Morphling does not have a single death. He's farming nicely on top of net worth. E-Blade, Yasha completed. So who picked up? Yeah, Dust picked up the Aegis, much better choice. Like, usually you do not want to have Aegis on transformation heroes, like a Dragon Knight. Sometimes on Sven it's fine. TB also is fine, but like Lycan, you just don't benefit from it that much.
Kaz.
Very close.
So BKB is about to be picked up for XM, delivered now. So he's got that ready to go, and yeah, looking at the Earth Spirit, almost finished with the Spirit Vessel, and then going into the Axe Shard.
I just wants to be able to, you know, increase the charge count by 4, and it also provides vision, so very cool. This is something that Earth Spirit needs. Like, he needs those charges, especially for Magnetize.
You two, follow me.
Especially in a moment where you can use that extra vision. Like, yeah, you've got Tombstone, that's always nice. But another Remnant gives you that location. Maybe you get a Blink Lasso out of it.
Oh, XG was like, whew, man, I'm about to use my combo, then realize the smoke didn't break and just stops.
So just holding the triangle, Flame Break into the lasso, they find Shylock! Great job, and then they just blow him up. Really well done. Execute that combo. Walrus Punch comes through, XM in some trouble. They follow this up with the Snowball. They don't have a buyback for the Lycan. However, they're going to get the kill on XM. They'll use the Spear. That lands out of the Undying. 3-man sweep. Chalice on the run, getting low, trying to get away. He's got Swashbuckle in a second, as well as that Blink, so he gets some distance. Ajit, though, hit with the Yules. Swashbuckle comes in, and that is not the combo they needed. They miss it, and they lose the Aegis. Ajit turns into the Mars, throws a spear on the Kaz. That pushes him back a ways. Wait for him to get some distance. Shards come through. Does touch the Morphling, but they're not going to chase any further.
Oh, this could have been a lot worse if that splitter actually connected on Morphling. They would have been able to kill more, possibly, plus get one more kill out of that. Like, the way this fight started, they picked off the Lycan, which you kind of want to kill before he can get anything off, because him and Lashrak are the main sources of the damage, but sick Chrono coming up from TZY, and he's very close to BKB. Now we're going to see that replay. Also, ET did amazing job just keeping them in place. Man, I wished he had more points in that natural order. Lashrak would just melt them.
Kills, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're also playing ET into Morph. 22 minutes in, you only have 1 point in natural order.
So Pause comes out. He's hit some key sleeps.
He did, hit it. I mean, you can do the same thing with, you know, just 2 points in Astral.
Yeah. And with the extra points in natural order, I think that fight is more devastating for EHOME, for sure.
This ability scales super good. Like, from level 140, level 2 60% base armor and resist.
That is one to think about when you've only got 1 point at this point in the game.
All right, Tome of Knowledge dropped here. If no one wants it, I'll take it. I'm that guy, you know, that always buys the book. Because I'm stupid, get it? You know, I need to read a couple of books just to get on the level of players on my team.
What's the last book you read?
What is it, actually? I started reading, I believe it's Two Crows.
Okay.
It's nothing spectacular. I'm kind of a guy that likes to watch the TV shows and movies much more, documentaries. Reading kind of makes me sleepy. It really does. There has to be, you know, some kind of medical condition that causes it.
Bookitis?
Yeah, I have bookitis.
Sounds realistic enough. 3K lead for MagMa. But definitely EHOME looking like they're positioning themselves to be in the driver's seat for this one. Now, and we talked about Pangolier. Changes that build, goes for the Blink Dagger after getting that Orb of Corrosion, and now he's gone back for the Maelstrom. I don't mind that.
Yeah, I don't mind that either, because they also need someone else to deal the damage. Like, Batrider goes in, uses the Firefly and Lasso. If he survives, like, his damage output after that is really not that great, and they also don't want to rely solely on Morphling to be able to deal the damage. So yeah, it's a core Pangolier, it's not a position 4, so you also want him to scale. With Maelstrom, he will be able to
for the Morphling. Walrus Punch comes in as well as the Spear. They've got the damage to take out Ajit immediately. He's there for 53 seconds with no buyback.
Couldn't get the Morph off.
Yeah, he was killed so fast.
May respawn in 3 minutes 30 seconds.
Want to go for XM instead. Shylock popping the ult, trying to get on top of XM. Gets into a decent spot and TP's out. Well done.
Doesn't even flinch. Does not use a BKB.
Dire structures are fortified. Radiant structures are fortified.
Just looking at the Pango build, going for Glepnir. Is that how you say that? Glepnir?
You asking me? I don't know. You're American. You should know English better than me. I mean, even though
it's a Norse item,
yeah, I know. But still,
roll in. BKB pop by Dust. Land the stun onto this Earth Spirit. They'll take out Fate immediately. XM with the BKB chasing over onto Shylock. They've got the lasso. Do they have the damage to get the kill onto the Lycan? They do. They take him out.
Lashrak misses another stun.
Missing the stun, and it could cause him to lose some allies. Kaz TP's out. TZY is gone, and so is Miami.
Yeah, it seems like Lashrak read the false patch notes, the wrong one, where it says that Yule Scepter lasts for 2 seconds instead of 2.5. So, kind of tough one. Like, these are some easy kills. This is the second Earth Splitter that he missed. He's playing on land, maybe that's why, you know, could be the difference where there's no ping.
He's got to get better on the timings, though. I know there was like a post the other day, how to land the OD Meteor Hammer. Always time it at the H of Banished. You hit it every time. I haven't tested it out yet.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. That's how I learned how to use Kunkka's combo back in the days.
I don't know if Mississippi actually lines out to 1 or 2 seconds in between. I guess it depends on how quickly you say the word. Right?
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Yeah. Well, that's how you count in hide and seek. If somebody's hiding, it's like you rush it out. You want to
I believe that's
find
cheating, VCOP. We're not cheaters here.
I mean, hide and seek, anything, I'm going to count as fast as possible. No rules.
It's not called hide and cheat.
EHOME thinking about coming up this high ground. We do have the vision with that ward. Fade to the back with that roll. Not finding anything with that, though. Sentry placed. We'll spot the Radiant Sentry. Nothing happening. A little bit of a stakeout from both sides. So just a 3K lead, and Roche potentially up in 40 seconds. So both teams posturing.
EHOME definitely wants to contest this one. Like, they do not want to let him have it for free, which happened for Roshan #1. Oh, Lycan decided to get Orchid as his third item.
Lasso out. It's his little Shrek. They've got the roll. They have the lockdown. The Flame Break is there, but he's not dead. He gets the BKB off. There's the stun on the Chalice. Finally, Dust loses his life, but Mian soon to follow. Ajit goes in, and he is taking names and taking numbers. And he'll find Kaz's number. Triple kill for the Morphling, and they're still trying to extend for more. Boulder Smash missing TZY. The roll a little bit to his right. And now they've got the Spirit Vessel on him, as well as the ult used by Shylock. But Fade, he's got the way to get away from him. There's no way to catch him.
EHOME just playing this so well right now. They're getting a pick off. They took out Lashrak as the first target. Lycan was not even there. Also, I don't think having Orchid on Lycan is gonna do the trick. Like, if you wanted to get more lockdown, probably Basher is a better choice.
Take a look at this real quick as Dust does get the BKB off, but soon after just dies. Ajit gets the kill, takes out Mian, looking for a third. They'll find Kaz. Simply done for EHOME. Now they're by the Roche pit. Ready to go. Ooh, morphs into the Mars, misses the spear. Able to adapt to strike combo. Snowball, BKB's been popped. They'll use the Walrus Punch. Now, lasso on Mian. No fall once again. But they land the stun on Axe Nova. They'll take the Undying. Courier?
He'll take
Morphling? His Courier goes down. Dust BKB is about to run out, so he needs to retreat. Still EHOME on the Roche pit.
I mean, Morphling items got delivered. It was pretty much an ulti orb, I believe. Not sure if it was Manta style, but I think that's it. I think he's just going for Scotty, keeping the casual Yasha. And this seems like, I'm not gonna call it a free Roche, because if ET lands a really good stomp into Earthsplitter, which he did multiple times this game, they can turn it around, and EHOME, they respect that.
I think they want to be ready just in case. BKB on cooldown for Batrider. You got it available there for Morphling, but you just don't want to group up in the pit and all of a sudden 5-man sleep. Roche is no longer yours.
No, he did. He's actually playing so well on ET. Except the part where he has 2 points in natural order, 29 minutes in. Yeah, exactly.
So Smoke onto the high ground. There's the blink. Gets in front of Fade. Speared in him with the Walrus Punch. They've got the arena down. They get the cone of the Earth Spirit. They'll take out Fade. He's dead for 50 seconds with no buyback. BKB's been popped by TZY. Rolling Thunder in. It's just the Earth Spirit dead for now. Will it be anything more? Use that ult from Shylock. I think they kind of wanted a little bit more. They all no arena now.
Earth Spirit does not have a buyback, but I think MagMa needs to be, you know, careful about it. Just a thought, if this Earth Spirit has a buyback, we run into Roche Pit, there's no arena, there's no shapeshift, so it could easily backfire, and this is why they don't go in.
Instead, they'll pressure the position of the tier 2 tower up in top.
Dire's top tower is under
Psychic
attack.
Headband picked up for Ajit. They're looking to defend, to clean up these creeps, do what they can. Walrus Punch comes through, as well as the God's Rebuke. They look over at Xnova, they get the kill to the Undying, but they got the lasso onto the Mars. The Earth Splitter hits on the 2. XM and Ajit get hit by that. They take out TZY, they chase on from Dust. They've silenced up Chalice.
Really
Kaz
nice
looking for the sweep. That hits the Earth Spirit as well as the Morphling. They get the kill to Chalice. They look over at XM, they hit the stun, and they will take out this Batrider. Now the roll in from Fade. Ajit with Chalice, who bought back. XM also bought back. And this is looking to go EHOME's way if they can just grab these heroes.
He got it off.
Morphling going in. They get the kill to Shylock. They'll finish off Dust. And now Mian's the target as he tries to run. Turns into the Tusk, uses the snowball, lands the perfect shards, and they'll finish him off for the team wipe. Now on to Roche they go. EHOME, it cost them the buybacks from the Bat as well as this Pango. But well worth it in the end when you're able to get a team wipe and the Aegis in your hands.
They understand, like, if we use buybacks and still win a team fight, it's really worth for us. Like, we're not using buybacks. I mean, Batrider is a core right now. I'm not sure if they're probably not gonna give him Aegis. Still believe like Morphling should pick it up, even though like Pangolier and Batrider bought back, but still feel like Morphling should just take it, and he does.
Picks it up, gets the cheese.
It just takes everything.
We'll see if the cheese gets passed over.
Under attack.
Definitely potential to see that go to somebody else. Meanwhile, the Scotty's finished for Ajit. So all of a sudden, EHOME, they've got the lead on this game. And it felt like it was going to go that way for a little while. Like it was on the cusp of moving over towards EHOME.
MagMa, they needed to achieve more with their lineup early on. They gave EHOME time to recover, and EHOME chose their fights wisely.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So Gleipnir finished.
I just love saying that name. Gleipnir this, Gleipnir that.
It's probably one of the best item names at this point.
For sure.
Radiant's bottom
And it looks cool. I don't know what that is, but it kind of looks cool. We'll have to Google it.
We'll find out like the G is silent. It's really just Leitnir.
Just love the colors. Can't see what it is, but no, well color coordinated item.
I'm pretty sure it's one of those like.
Yeah, looks
Yeah.
like that. Well, I don't know how to explain it. He showed with his hands, and I'm agreeing. But you know what? Is it like flail, mace? I don't know what that is.
I guess you flail the lightning at people, you just spin it around. That's why it's got the AoE. I don't really know Norse mythology.
Mars.
TZUI caught with the lasso, fade right on him. They'll roll, they'll E-blade, and they'll adaptive strike. All in the works to get the kill onto the Mars. And Ajit 11-1-4. He's practically unkillable.
You know, I've heard certain people talking about Ajit not being like that good. Well, I'm convinced. I've seen these, you know, 2 games. He feels, I would say, very comfortable, you know, just joining a team and delivering like this.
Yeah. And it's not the first time he's been in this situation. You know, obviously the EHOME trade that everybody was wondering about, where 5 days later they replaced Ajit with ASD. I think a lot of people were wondering, is this going to happen again? Are we going to see him get replaced real quick? But from the performance so far, like you said, he looks comfortable.
He really does. Like how he plays with the team, the fights that he joins, knows when to farm, does not overextend. So far, so good.
Now the question is, what can MagMa do to get a little bit of a hold on this game? Their foothold has been lost, and EHOME seem to be right there and ready to drive this one home. Does this kind of stem from the fact that this liking that it wouldn't work it?
I was not listening, B-Cup. I gotta be honest. I had my eyes on Vanguard Undying. This is what I like. This is pretty hype, you know. He's trying to get the Crimson Guard, the damage block against the Lycan and the Wolves. So yeah, Undying. Just kidding. He's still, you know, one of the worst heroes to play. But yeah, this item, if he can finish it somehow, is gonna be pretty big.
Blink lasso on a TZY. They're going to try and land a sweep here, but the Rolling Thunder coming through. Dust in some trouble. Pop the BKB. They'll hit that Rolling Thunder through onto the Elder Titan. They'll get the kill on the Kaz.
That's a
look towards over, or looking over towards Shylock. Pops the BKB and goes into the ult. They get the kill on the Dust. They'll take it a third. They don't have buyback on any of them. This is looking like EHOME just going to finish this one off.
I would not be surprised if they just, you know, call out this game, because they might lose all 5, and they had their timings, they missed them, so kind of rough one. Cheese,
Fade. I don't know if that's going to be enough, but they get the kill on a Mian Mian. 4 heroes dead, no buyback, and the lane pushing in bottom.
He gave him the cheese. He actually gave him the cheese. I did not notice because I thought the game is over, so I stood up. But maybe Earthspirit did not have a full inventory. He didn't. Okay. You know, the big brain plays when you make space. You scream, "I'll give you the cheese," then you make space. Someone passes it to you, and you're spamming that key. But very well played from EHOME.
It's a selfless act. Everybody at home, we've been standing the entire time.
Maybe that guy is just, you know, lactose intolerant, does not want to eat it.
I definitely know how that feels. Depends on the cheese, though.
It's good that you're not lactose intolerant.
No, never.
Okay, good. So, free set of Raxes. 10k gold lead suddenly for EHOME. Full butterfly finished. It's just rough. Like, this type of lineup doesn't really scale. You can see the power of Lycan. He's a strong hero, first 25, 30 minutes. I also don't think, like, the itemization here is correct. Try to play with something different. Going for Orchid didn't work out.
Yeah, it almost felt like the second he picked that up instead of something else,
I would
his
say that even if
off.
he did have the best possible item, if you had AI working on this game to, you know, show the best possible item that he could get, he got it. The outcome would still be the same.
Looking for the kill on a TZY, and they're trying to get the kill onto the Mars. They'll find themselves at least one. The arena's down, Xnova's falling. They've got Ajit kind of away from the rest of his team, but I'm not certain they can get the kill out of this Morphling. He'll wave form away. Down goes Mian Mian. They end up losing Kaz. 3 heroes dead. This time they've got buyback on Mars and the Elder Titan, but losing Dust too. He does not have buyback, and Shylock soon to follow. Another team wipe for EHOME. Looking like they're sealing the deal here, and there's the GG.
I believe this was the kind of best fight that MagMa had in terms of like damage output, where Lashrak spent all his mana, full duration, 4 or 5 heroes, and it's still not enough. Like this game comes down to the draft, where one team has a draft that wants to finish the game in the first, let's say, 25-30 minutes game. They fail to do so, the other team just takes over. It's a textbook example.
Was it the pace that kind of killed them? Like, it didn't feel like they pushed in enough. It was always fighting on their side of the map for the most part. They did take that one fight up towards the tier 2 and top, but they lost that fight.
They overextended a couple of times, and you know, just not choosing the right fights. You want to take the fight, fall back for the Roshan number 2, and try to end the game from there. Never happened.
Yeah, so EHOME, they take the easy 2-0. It's the second 2-0 of the day, and we'll see what the panel thought about that one. We throw it over to you guys. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, Team MagMa, they get their salami sliced by EHOME. That was convincing stuff from the invited teams today. I mean, showing us why they're the invites, why they didn't need to go through the qualifiers. This is exactly why. Guys, major problems for MagMa in the second game.
Even with the draft, that's pretty decent. Even with the start, that looked very, very convincing. Like they were rolling across the map. That Wolf pops his form, just sends his units after.
You know what? I want to hear Black instead. Sorry, you're muted, Lizard. But Black, why don't you tell us what the problems with MagMa was in this game?
Okay, so I'm fine.
You're fine.
Okay. So I think the biggest problem of MagMa was just I think around the minute 20 mark. They took like a chain of really bad fights, like 2 or 3 fights that were really poorly executed. Especially the Lycan, Shylock again, had, I would say, a pretty rough performance once again. He wasted his ult on multiple occasions. And a Lycan without ult is just not the same hero, obviously.
No.
Yeah, no. We've spoken in room about it, and it feels like he needs to, like get his nerves in check. Because I've seen them play online. He played so much better. You know, like I don't know what happened to him. Like he's just crumbling.
We were really harsh as well. Watching the game, both of us felt a little bit disappointed by both position 1s and the execution.
Unfortunately, you're still muted, Lizard, but we'll try to get that one sorted out. But yeah, unfortunately, Skylock just not really managing to put it together. I think there has to be a kind of edge of LAN anxiety here from him. There's something not quite going right with his gameplay in these 2 games, unfortunately. But you know what? It's day 1. It's better to have these problems now, where you can look at it, where you can sort it out, you know, where you can kind of watch your replays and go, hey, you know what? You know, I need to tighten up here and there. But I think overall, it's just something which he needs to get on top of, and I'm sure he will. You know, new team, hungry team, they're going to be able to realize this, and younger teams are always more adaptable than the over teams. So hopefully we'll see a new Skylock coming out in the next few weeks.
Yeah. On the flip side, we have EHOME, who I think can be quite happy with what they did today. I think Ajit, he did decently, even though like his score this game is really, really good. I think he had a couple of issues, like itemization mainly. But other than that, he's played a pretty good game. And the team as a whole came together very, very well. I mean, they have some flaws here and there, especially in the early game. This game looked pretty iffy. But if they can, you know, just work out the team play a bit more and refine their gameplay a little bit, they can definitely be a good contender for the top 4.
Yeah, I think both EHOME and Vici kind of today showing that, you know, they do have weak spots which can be exploited. In game 1 of the last series, Vici were looking a little bit questionable, and we saw a couple of rusty patches from EHOME in this series as well, even though they didn't actually come to light.
I just loved from Team MagMa now, let's talk about them, even though they lost here. Some of the things that they did in this game were really good. They crumbled the basics though, like popping that wolf form when it's not necessary multiple times in a row. I think that hurt them a lot. But when it comes to the general game plan, they played well. Like if they're approaching the high ground, they see that tombstone on the cliff, they back out. They don't take a fight around it. If they're taking rush, they send out wolves everywhere across the map, they scout out, and then they secure it, right? So some things that could be considered, let's say, a little bit more advanced are there for them, but some things like just popping the wolf form to chase an earth spirit that you can't catch are not, and or being a little bit out of position with your position 1.
I like what you said about basics also. Like a couple of times they just smoked up even though their lanes were pushed in, you know?
Yeah.
And that's like the basic of pro Dota. If your lanes are pushed in,
You can't smoke.
you
right?
can't smoke because they have all the information in the world. And they did it a couple of times, but as you said, when they get to those team fights, they're actually quite good. You know, their spell casting isn't bad. Like they do what they need to do in team fights. It's just the way they approach these team fights is like the way they get to these team fights is not good because like, the enemy team is super prepared for them. You know, like nobody's pushing lanes where they're gonna be. I'm just gonna wait high ground, bait you in, and fight on our terms.
So, and when you look at the drafts as well, like this draft was pretty solid from them. The laning stage, everything, it went well, and I really think give this draft to a different team perhaps, or to Team MagMa in a different day, and they could take this game.
Yeah, I mean, they were ahead for a long time. Let's not forget that, you know. It's not like they were losing this entire game from the get-go. They were ahead, but they kind of failed to deal with this morphling problem in the end. Was that purely just a consequence of the game going a long time? Or did you guys feel like there was more they could have done to put some pressure on the morph?
I think it's a combination of multiple things. The position 5 ET, thinking that he's suddenly a carry, like he's maxing his spirit instead of the aura, which is the hard counter to the hero that's giving you troubles, the morphling. He didn't have that for the longest time, and then, as we said, it's just a little bit of poor decision making here and there, you know, using spells you shouldn't use at the wrong time. And if you're on a timer, every little mistake like that counts so much more, you know. Like if they had a hard carry draft and they mess up like one haunt or something, you have a Spectre for late game, you know, it doesn't matter as much. But with a Lycan, it's always like so much more punishing if you mess up these.
And the problem is that they use his form for pickoffs instead of objectives. Yeah. And if you get a pickoff even, it doesn't matter because you can't convert that into anything. And because of that, this morphling becomes a problem as he has his tier 2 still standing on the map, and it's much easier for his teammates to support him anytime he gets attacked, let's say in the triangle. So just maybe think about these basic things or improve on them. The advanced stuff, the teamfight mechanics, where to take teamfights, they got that pretty much down to the T, but the basics is just
is lacking a little.
Yeah, lacking. Like, I can't understand the other Titan not taking more.
Yeah. I mean, the draft was good, but unfortunately, the problems did come to light. I mean, you know, you got to have a foundation to build a house, and that wasn't quite there in this game. So hopefully, we'll see more from MagMa coming out through the previous weeks. But from EHOME, you know what? Actually, a question I want to ask you, Black, is if we were to see EHOME versus Vici Gaming tomorrow, which we're not obviously, but if we were, who do you think would be the winner out of these two teams from what you've seen today?
Well, it's a tough one. I actually think they're very evenly matched after the 2 games I've seen today from both of them. I actually do think it could go either way because they're both like quite fresh with their lineups.
Yep.
But as I said, VG has been playing with Erika for what, like a month now? So they're probably
2 or 3.
2 or 3 months even.
Yeah.
So they're probably in a bit of a better shape when it comes to team play and just team chemistry. So maybe like a slight edge to VG, but I think either team could take it pretty convincingly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the exciting thing, I guess, is that beyond, we're thinking Team Elephant are the top 1, and then kind of just 2 onwards. We really don't know just yet, but that's what we're going to find out through the coming weeks. Let's have a look at how the standings are looking after today's games. Of course, only the 2 matches, and that's going to put Vici Gaming and EHOME on top, and they're going to feel very good as well because they didn't drop a single game in either of their series, so they've also got that going for them as well, which is very nice for them. So still yet to play, we've got LGD, Elephant, Aster, Invictus. All these 4 teams yet to play their games. We'll see more of them throughout the weeks, but there's going to be more interesting games between these teams coming up in the future. No big upsets as of yet. The invited teams kind of doing as we expected so far. A little bit of struggle, a little bit of rust. Could just be due to the tournament starting, but in this kind of format, What kind of team do you think it favors, the younger teams or the more experienced teams?
I would actually say that it favors a little bit the younger squads.
Yeah, so having some issues to sort out. Yeah,
We're having some issues with Lizard over there.
But I think it favors not necessarily newer or more seasoned teams, but teams that can, adjust and learn faster than others. Like if you're ahead of the meta in the middle of a tournament and others are still struggling to keep up, then you are going to win games that you possibly shouldn't win, against a stronger team. And you're going to dominate all the weaker teams for sure if you're ahead of the meta. It's the same with Team Secret. Like a while ago, they figured out the meta perfectly. Everybody was trying to catch them, and it took them 6 tournaments to finally lose one, simply because they were so far ahead in the meta. So I think you just need to be able to learn fast, adjust fast, maybe even look at other teams, what they're doing, build upon that, and just improve that. There's many, many ways to, just get a stable foundation going in this kind of patch.
Yeah, and I think the teams which utilize that the most are going to look good, not just for this league, but also, for the major, maybe not necessarily this major, some of the younger teams, but looking forward to future majors and then even looking towards TI. If you can prove that you can improve the most over these 2 months, then the future's looking really green, because you're going to have tons of Dota to play over the next kind of few months or so in the lead up to TI in August. It's exciting. I'm very excited to see what these younger teams can do, and of course what the established teams can do as well, and who can bring a fight to some of the bigger teams. So that's going to round it off for today. One more question I want to ask you about before we close out for today is, which matchup are you looking forward to the most after having seen these 4 games? These 2 games?
Out of any team?
Out of any team.
Okay, probably Elephant versus either PSG, LGD, or VG.
Okay.
I feel either of these 3 teams are going to be in the top 1 at the end of the tournament. So,
alrighty. And closing thoughts from you, Lizard, but in mime format, please. Good. Okay. Feeling good. Double okay. Feeling very good. Strong. Gotchi. Heaven. God. He's having sleep.
Sleep.
Okay, he's having a full repentance now here on stream. Alrighty, guys. Well, that is going to be it from us. That's all we have time for. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back on Friday for more Chinese action, but of course, join us tomorrow as we will be getting into the SEA Dotas over on the PGL stream. But from us today, it's going to be goodbye. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.